Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the ball. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my mud on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolf Pack, what is going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with your Week 13 fantasy preview. My guy CJay is going to be here soon. We had some technical difficulties as we were getting logged in, a little bit of lag, things going on. So in the comments, please let me know if the lag is on my end. Am I coming through clearly? Is everything okay? Because we do want to make sure we get to all of those sit-start questions. 2 weeks left until those fantasy playoffs. Need to get these right for you so we can push into that playoff dance, and then anything can happen. Maybe you're fighting for a bye, whatever it is. Let's get going, Wolfpack. I'll start with some Thursday night takeaways, only really one that I want to dive into. Then we'll hit some news and notes really quickly. On to your questions the rest of the time. While we get settled here, that thumbs up button does help us get out to more people, is so greatly appreciated, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We can't see your questions, so you might want to come on over to YouTube. I tweeted it out earlier. Come on in, hit that thumbs up button. Please do consider helping us grow here. Wolfpack, we got about 25 questions. You love to see it. So thanks again so much for being here, spending your time with us. And again, if there's any technical difficulties while we're live here, please do let me know. I think everything's okay, but we will see here for sure. Starting with our Thursday night football takeaways. At only 23% rostered, the biggest takeaway to me was James Cook. 14 carries, 64 yards, in addition to 41 receiving yards on 6 catches, out-touching Devin Singletary 20-13, outgaining him 105-51. It sure looked like a takeover. He sure looked better than Devin Singletary has really ever. James Cook is so explosive. It's like mini Dalvin. Who would have thought? It's his younger brother. Looking really, really solid on Thursday night, though. Will absolutely be one of the top waiver wire pickups that we cover later. Definitely, if you can somehow pick guys up that have already played, go to get him. He's the kind of reason why we tout these tryout situations. Put him on your bench, beat the rush, because he's probably going to be a $25, $30, maybe even $40 acquisition at this point that you could have just stashed for your kicker to pick up a kicker later today. So we will see how that all shakes out. But that's really the biggest note. The rest kind of unfolded as we expected. The Pats got their asses kicked. It sucks as a Pats fan. Did not enjoy any second of that. Josh Allen looked solid. Still hasn't been back to that true the QB1 form in a little bit. But overall, solid game for the Bills offense. Diggs obviously crushed it. Gabe Davis finding the end zone early, but then doing nothing. So I benched him for Christian Watson. Right now, I don't feel horrible about that. I still have a ceiling to reach at this point. So we will see how it goes. I know we recommended a lot of you guys out there on Thursday night that are here with us today to bench Gabe Davis, and I can't imagine you're too upset about that. It looked like it was going to be a travesty when he caught that first touchdown of the game. Ultimately, it ended up being okay. So that's really the only big takeaway, though, I had that I wanted to go over. So let's just dive into some of these news and notes. There's not a ton here today, but some huge players that we have to discuss. Get your sit-start questions in about all of these guys, and then we'll dive into those sit-starts. Maybe you'll hear something that prompts another question, some pickups, some stashes, things of that nature. Starting with quarterback. Justin Fields practiced in full, and guess what? He is right back up to my quarterback 6. Cannot have this guy any lower than that after he went for NFL records in back-to-back weeks. The guy is insane as a Konami threat. Green Bay just gave up over 170 yards on the ground to Jalen Hurts. I imagine if Fields off the injury report, fully ready to go, why would they put him out there if there was really a big risk of him getting hurt, of coming out in the, obviously everybody's at risk of getting hurt, but to re-injure something, to be at a greater risk than you already would be. I can't imagine that's the case here for Justin Fields. So I have no hesitation here, rolling him out as a top 6 quarterback. Just bumped him ahead of Tua today. So that is something to consider. And I love Tua. I think that game is really interesting, but with the line questions there, I definitely gave him a little bit of a downgrade, gave Fields a bigger upgrade, given he is full, given we do not expect any limitations at this point on him. I think if you have him, you got to start him unless you have like Mahomes, Burrow. It's really the only couple guys I have above him today. Also noteworthy, and not really for set starts, but just to note, Jimmy Garoppolo, both sides are open according to Rap Sheet to a return in 2023. That definitely makes if you have Trey Lance in Dynasty, a little bit of hesitation there, a little bit of a concern. We will see what happens if Jimmy G actually does return. He sure is giving this team the best chance to win as of right now. I think the 49ers could absolutely come out of the NFC at this point. My guy, CJ, how are you? Let's see if the lag is still going on over there.
Good. I think I'm back.
You're back. Yep. You're talking and your words are coming out with the mouth. Good to see. How you been, brother?
Good. Had a long day yesterday. U.S. team lost, but I like what I saw. Bright future ahead. Great college football slate. I think Michigan men will be regretting their words from 2 weeks ago.
We will see. The official selection is what, at noon today? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out live today on the Roto Street Journal show.
Hey, we'll be ready to go. I can't wait for that news to come out. I'm guessing OSU makes it. I think Bama deserves it more than TCU, than Ohio State. We'll see if they make it in as well after TCU crap themselves. I mean, they played well, but come on.
And USC shooting themselves off.
Yes, exactly. So intriguing there. We'll obviously discuss it as that comes live today too, but you're here for your fantasy football takes. The really only ones I covered, CJ, is you have Justin Fields. He's in your lineup today, right? Like you can't really bench Fields after what he was doing.
Honestly, I'm picking between him and Dak, and I need to just be safe, and I'm almost feeling Dak's more safe. But I don't know.
Dak is probably safer, but again, I look at Jalen Hurts running for over 170 yards on this abysmal Packers run D. We know Fields was putting up 160-ish yards per game, like those last 3 game stretch. I'm going him. I guess if you need it safe, you know you're going to get 18 to 20 from Dak. But to me, Fields is the type of guy get 40-point days in back-to-back weeks. He just can win you your matchup without needing anybody else. So I have a hard time going. I'm going to Fields above Dak for sure myself.
That's all I need.
Yeah, there you go. There's the push. He's going to get hit wicked hard in the first play, and then if you knocked out the rest of the game, you're just going to be like, screw you, Wolf. But no, I'm all in on him. I do like, again, we mentioned Jimmy G, more so a long-term thing, more so a dynasty note. But I do really like Jimmy G today and what I think will be a shootout-style game. There's definitely some line injuries, though, that we will hit upon in a little bit. Moving forward, though, with the notes, only other thing is Matthew Stafford was moved to the IR. I know our guy like David, he'll probably be here for the call, and he was holding on to him for a while. No reason to. Obviously, clearly, there was really no reason to anyways, but clearly that's re-emphasized today. We won't be seeing Matthew Stafford. We won't be seeing Cooper Kupp. If you've been holding on to Kupp for the locker room presence, I understand it. It makes your team look better when you have Cooper Kupp. You can say, look at how good my team could have been. But we have practicality to take care of here, and you want to make sure you're putting yourself in the best spot forward. Stashing a guy like James Cook on Thursday instead of rostering Cooper Kupp would have been the type of play. Maybe you can pick up McCole Hardman if it's an IR spot that you're holding on to. There's certainly guys out there to pick up, and we'll talk about a receiver in a little bit who I really, really like. All right, Wolfpack, we got about 25 of you. As always, we do love to get up to about 50 of you, get to about 200 questions. So again, that thumbs up, the shares, the retweets, all that stuff is what helps us get to those bigger numbers. That's helped us grow so much so far this year. So please do, if you enjoyed this show, consider hitting that thumbs up button as you get those questions on in. A way to always jump the line is that super chat, is that call-in function. Link is in the comments there if you want to call in. But also, if you want to support the boys, it's always so greatly appreciated, and you can jump the line there. We know our guy David Campanelli is watching the mean streets to see if there's any super chats coming in. In terms of running back news, we have not got anything clear on Joe Mixon quite yet. It does seem like he's trending towards out. He has not been cleared as of now. He plays at 425. Really tricky situation if you do not have Samaje Perine. If you have Samaje Perine, you got to feel pretty good about using him as well. I like him at 6K on DraftKings. I mean, he was just the clear-cut workhorse back. Last time out, 7 catches. He does it all. And he gets a good matchup with the Chiefs, a good chance to chase points. If Mixon's in, I'm playing him. But really, you need to have a nice bridge. And the other risk, too, is the Samaje Perine. Let's say you're waiting it out, assuming Mixon's out, and then Mixon is cleared and he's in. Suddenly, he becomes a whole lot more useless. So ideally, you can have these guys in your flex. You have some more options to pivot away from. But either way, I'd like a back from the Bengals, given the Chiefs matchup, given the shootout style feel of this game. We'll see what happens. We'll keep our eyes peeled in case anything does come out. But given that's a 425 game, I do not think we'll know ahead of the 1 p.m. kickoff. So you might just have to go elsewhere. Another stud running back, Christian McCaffrey, not on the final injury report. I had him down at like week running back 11 or so. Was a little concerned that he was banged up, not coming into this one full. I have no qualms here at this point, though. Not that you weren't starting Christian McCaffrey, but he's right back into my top 6 running backs for the week. We got a lot of comments. How is CMC out of these idiots' top 10? I was worried that he wasn't going to be at full. He is going to be at full strength. We have Eli Mitchell now on injured reserve and maybe even Deebo out. Seems like he's trending towards being in, but could flare up early. Either way, this could be back to that 3-touchdown, crazy usage, multifaceted game from McCaffrey. They'll certainly need every weapon they can get. And I do think this game has shootout-style feel. So this is going to be a real solid litmus test. Like, do we get just every snap McCaffrey in these playoff-style field games? We will find out today, but I cannot wait to find out. Josh Jacobs seems likely to play. There's optimism towards it, but there is a risk here that he has this calf issue and might end up getting sat. I love stashing Zamir White, whether I have Josh Jacobs or not, just to see what happens. If Jacobs ends up missing this game, ultimately Zamir White could be a top 15 running back play. The Chargers are that bad. He could be a nice flex play, could be a pivot if you're waiting for Joe Mixon, Samaje Perine, one or the other, and then Josh Jacobs is ruled out and that situation gets blown up for you. Zamir White could be a solid play today. I would definitely be stashing him out there in leagues where you have the bench space. You want to see what happens. A guy I could cut for him, for example, is Odell Beckham. We're going to talk about why in a little bit. Travis Etienne expected to play in Week 13 against the Lions. I do think that is a solid, just top 10 spot, given that the Lions are a bottom 10 matchup. Easy in terms of generosity to the running back position. So Etienne, before getting hurt, he had that 1 10-point meh day against the Chiefs, but 20 and 20. The 2 games before that had really taken over as the featured back. Sounds like he could have gone back in last week, but Hasty was running so well, they didn't want to risk it. So I do think you can get Etienne back into those lineups. Buccaneers running back Fournette is questionable. He has been practicing in full all week. I expect him to be in there for Monday Night Football. Not the ideal guy to wait it out for. I don't think he's in a great spot. I do prefer Rachaad White, but this does knock White down a significant amount. They've talked about a hot hand approach. We know Fournette is good at the goal line, could cap his scoring ceiling. So that does make me a little bit more nervous for Rachaad White. Last 2 running back notes. Stephen Drake's my man. I see that super chat. We'll be with you in just a second. Let me get through this running back position, and then we will hit it. Najee Harris is good to go. He's off the injury report. Meanwhile, Jalen Warren, the guy we all expected to be starting, is questionable. We'll see what happens, but it does sound like Najee will be the featured back here today against Atlanta. Good spot for him, top 20 running back. I would be fine getting Najee right back into my lineups. He had 2 solid back-to-back efforts. He is dinged up, though. It's not the smash play that he was last year, but against Atlanta, I see a hard time for him completely failing and falling on his face today. So I'm playing Najee where I have him, which is really nowhere because I avoided him all year. But if you have Najee, I have no qualms getting him in your lineup. Gibson's expected to play. Makes it tougher to start Brian Robinson. I don't really like either of these guys against the Giants. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be Gibson, given the pressure that the Giants can generate. Maybe a lot of dump-offs there. Michael Carter was listed as doubtful. He is not going to be playing today. The Zonovan Night Show. I think we might get some questions on him. Big popular pickup today. I really like the kid. He passed the eyeball test completely. I don't know much about him. Did you know anything about Zonovan Knight coming out of college, CJ? I've never heard of this kid.
Honestly, never heard of him.
Yeah, I hadn't either. But I watched his clips. Like, he looked solid. He gets the yards that are blocked and then some. His nickname's Bam. Like, what else do you need there? You got a guy named Bam in your lineups. You got to love it. But he could score. He had 3 catches. He had 17 touches and over 100 yards plus a touchdown. Like, no problem there. He's only 4,600 on DraftKings, and nobody seems to be going to him. Yes, there's the risk. James Robinson was inactive last week. He's likely to play. There was a tweet that it's probably going to be a 3-headed committee. I think they're going to give this kid the first crack at it. He's clearly above James Robinson on the depth chart, and I don't know that he gives it up. We know that Mike White loves checking it down, peppering the running backs. I think Zonovan's a really nice play today. I think he's a top 30 running back. I put him in my flex in a bunch of leagues. I'm actually at the point where I'm like debating, do I bench Christian Watson for him? And I don't think I'm going to do that. Christian Watson's running too hot to put on my bench, but that's how highly I am putting Zonovan Knight in my rankings today. Am I nuts, CJ? What are your thoughts on this kid?
I mean, I would definitely have him below Christian Watson.
Yes, okay. So, yeah.
but no, I agree with what you said. I mean, I don't see why they would play him less than they did last week. Like, he showed everything he needed to show, and James Robinson's clearly dust. He had those like cute 3 weeks, and that's it. So
yeah, it's so crazy how like hot he was. Like top 5 running back in fantasy scoring the first 3 weeks. It looked pretty solid. Looked like the first guy that would ever come back from an Achilles, but it's definitely caught up. He has not looked anything as explosive as he started the year, which is, again, really strange how that progressed. But, yeah, I think they like this kid, clearly, when he was playing above him anyways. Last week, he did nothing but impress. I think he's going to continue to get work. I guess the questions become like, what about Zonovan Knight versus Rachaad White, DeAndre Swift, Murray, these like somewhat ugly committee backs with like talent. I don't know if I can go above like a Swift or not, given how explosive he is, but Swift's also not getting the work. So that's a really tough one to me. I still have my rankings open, and I'm going to decide like where he ends up sliding in, but I go him above like Cordarrelle Patterson, above either of the Commanders guys, above A.J. Dillon, even in a good matchup. I like Knight today. Between like Pacheco and White and Swift, that's where things get a little tricky. Do you have any strong leanings on like that? Like Pacheco, White, Swift, Murray, Knight? That's like the range.
I'm still not in on Pacheco yet. I don't know why, but there's something about him I just don't really love.
It doesn't catch any passes.
We don't have a ton of comments and questions about him for some reason.
Yeah, they'll get on there. I hope. We'll see. Hey, if it's an early day, it's an early day. We'll find out. But yeah, so that's the Zonovan Knight news. I don't want to keep you waiting anymore, Stephen Drake. You super chatted to cut the line, and I just went on a Zonovan Knight rant instead of answering your question. So my apologies. What do we got for Stephen?
He's asking, would you play Ayuk and Gus or play Pittman and wait on either Perine or Rachaad White first?
That's a good question. I'm definitely getting Ayuk in. I play Ayuk over Pittman. I have him higher in my rankings. I don't think I play Gus. Just because I'd rather have Rachaad White even with Lenny than Gus. I think White is so multidimensional. We saw, 9 receptions last week. So if that's the worst case is Rachaad White, I still prefer him over Gus. And then you obviously get the pivot to Perine if, I assume at this point, Perine is going to be the starter. Yeah. I'm going Perine over any of those guys if, of course, the clear-cut starter there for the Bengals. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I think Gus is my least favorite out of the 3 running backs. So I'd definitely go Ayuk, and then I would probably go Perine over Rachaad White just because he has the lead role.
Yeah, assuming he's starting again. If Mixon's in, obviously we pivot, we go to White. But I'd rather have Rachaad White than Gus regardless. So don't play Gus at 1. Wait till those 4 p.m. news comes out. We know Rachaad White's Monday Night Football, so you have some time to decide there. So yeah, going Ayuk over Pittman, and then Perine over White, assuming Mixon is out. Then Pittman or Christian Watson. I'm going Watson. I'm riding the hot hand. There's still some upside here. The Bears secondary is already bad. Now they're down to safety, maybe even 2 at this point. I think they're going to keep riding it. We know that Aaron Rodgers is in at this point. He's going to be playing. And I think they're just going to continue to try to forge that rapport here down the stretch. It's a lost season. So what do you do in lost seasons? You try to get your young guys more acclimated, more involved. We've already seen multiple blow-up weeks in 3 straight now. I think Dubs could be back, which is a little worrisome. But even still, I'm going Christian Watson. I think Dubs comes back and Watson still thrives. So I really like Christian Watson in general, and especially today. What about you, CJ? Pittman versus Watson.
I like the blow up with Watson over Pittman. Pittman's just been so up and down. Even with Matt Ryan back, he's still sketchy. I'm going Watson.
There we go. All righty. So that we're both in lockstep there with Christian Watson. Perine likely the running back you want, but Rachaad White, if Mixon's in, is still probably a better play than Gus. So thank you, Stephen, so much for your generosity, for your super chat. You've done it multiple times throughout the years, and it's so greatly appreciated, not unnoticed. So thank you, my man. All right, moving back to our running back news. There's just a couple other notes. J.K. Dobbins is out. We were just talking about Gus Edwards. It is a good spot for Gus Edwards in that sense that the Denver Broncos are easier to run on than pass. He saw it last week, 84% of the carries in his first game back, despite Drake playing pretty well for 2 weeks in a row. Gus Edwards walked right back into an every down role. He wasn't in on more than 50% of snaps, but when he was in, he was getting the rock. He was nearly the only guy getting carries at that point. So he looked solid. I think he is a solid play, but again, Rachaad White, Samaje Perine, guys I would play over him with a little bit higher of ceilings. Travis Homer, these are just some running back notes that you probably don't care about these players themselves, but they will impact the usage of more important guys, such as Travis Homer is out. Maybe that means a little bit more third down work for Kenneth Walker. Either way, he's a great top 10 running back play today, but Homer being out, it might elevate DJ Dallas a little bit, but it also could mean a handful more receptions for Walker, which only adds to a already great ceiling. Cam Akers is not on the injury report, so he'll be there for his annoying 10 to 15 carries, but Kyron Williams seemed to be taking over this backfield anyways. It would have been clearer to have Akers just ruled out, and then we know we have a 3-down back, but I wouldn't be shocked at all to see a 3-down roll from Kyron. It's such a gross offense, such a bad offensive line. It's not a spot I'm dying to get to, but as we always say, usage is usage is usage. There is a chance for Kyron to be an okay play today. So he's a Hail Mary type of running back out there. Burkhead's questionable. We haven't got a final confirmation on his concussion, but he did not practice on Thursday or Wednesday. He was full on Friday, so it seems like he'll be back, but could make Pierce a little bit more palatable, even though I already like Dameon Pierce. That was in the title here, so I just want to emphasize we'll probably get a lot of questions on him. 2 straight duds. Fool me 3 times, then I'm dead, and it sucks, but I'm going to go back to the Pierce well today. The matchup with Cleveland, second most points to backs. They've talked a lot this week about how they need to get that run game going. Cooks is out. Not that he was a huge usage hog anyways, but they don't have much options other than to try to force feed Dameon Pierce, and I think he'll find success against a really bad run D. Top 16 running back play for me. So most of my sit starts, it's tricky, it's tough, but I'm going to say I'm going back to Dameon Pierce. CJ, would you go back to him, or is he completely off your list at this point?
No, I would. I have his underdog play today. I think it's like around 70-ish yards, I want to say.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be, Chubb ripping off 20-yard runs, and it comes back, and then Dameon Pierce does the same thing on the other way. It's going to be a fast-moving game. I think ultimately the total number of plays there could be risky, but I think the run games will both succeed. That's why I'm a little lower on Deshaun Watson too. Just I think this game moves fast. So I'm not really targeting much of the passing games in those, but I think both running backs have big days. So Dameon Pierce definitely in play today. Jerick McKinnon is not on the injury report, so Pacheco does get a little bit of a stock down there. Given he could have been a true 3-down back had Jerick McKinnon been out with a hamstring injury. So I did bump Pacheco down. I had him like hovering around the top 20s. I don't know that I like this kid that much. He makes a couple nice runs every game, but I'm always about 5-6 spots below ECR. Seems like just a between the 20s purgatory type of guy, Pacheco. And I think this is going to be more of an aerial attack today. So I'm not that big into I'll go Zonovan Knight today over Isaiah Pacheco, and I don't know. I'll regret it. We'll find out a little bit later.
I'm with you on that one.
You're with me on that one already. We're in lockstep there. And then moving forward, so I'm just making a quick tear gap here. I don't know what to do with DeAndre Swift. I really just, in my gut, feel like he's off the injury report for the first time in a while. I think he's going to get like a 15-touch day and just go crazy at 5,600 on DraftKings. I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts. The team seems to hate him, but the player is so damn good. If he gets 12 to 15, it seemed to be finally turning in his favor. I just keep looking at him. I don't know where to put him in my rankings. Do you have any strong? I know it's random. There's no note or nugget to talk about, but do you have any feelings about Swift? I have no idea what to do with him today.
I hate him.
So annoying.
I'm not a fan of him at all.
You never have been. We're not a Swift show.
No. I would have him as low as it makes sense.
Okay. So even below a Zonovan, you think?
Right in that area.
That's where he is, yeah.
Probably below, honestly, yeah. Zonovan should probably have goal line. So.
I know. I mean, much higher touchdown upside. Jamal Williams will just have 4 touchdowns today. He just ruin anything there. So, yeah, I don't know. Random question, but I just don't know what to do with DeAndre Swift. Let us know if you guys have any strong leanings there. That wraps up the running back position. So a few receiver notes on some huge names here. Jamar Chase expected to return. You can't bench him. I mean, we saw last year when he faced the Chiefs, he had, 55 points in your fantasy championships. Not that history is a endless loop. But Jamar Chase on a team giving up the most points to number 1 wide receivers. I don't know if you consider that T. Higgins at this point. If they're easing in Chase. Even if he's eased in, it's Jamar Chase in a great shootout-style spot. I don't even think he's going to be eased in. I think he was ready to go as early as last week, but they felt they didn't need him to win. They didn't need him to win, so great. Get him another week of rest for this monster. This is apparently I saw a nugget. I forget where it was, somewhere on Twitter, where they're emailing the Bengals season ticket holders this is our Super Bowl essentially. So they're talking about this as a huge, huge game of the year, and it really is an amazing game. And just in general, really fun Sunday of football. I can't wait for that 4:00 slate when we got Chiefs Bengals, we got 49ers Dolphins. 4:00 games are going to kick ass today. But that all to say, you're getting Chase in. This game's going to be great, and I think Chase is going to absolutely be a smash play. Who do you think wins that one? Chiefs Bengals today, CJ.
I'm going Chiefs. Revenge factor. Especially how they've lost to them recently. They've all been kind of fluky. I like the Chiefs today.
I like the Chiefs to come out of the AFC this year too. I think they're just locked in. They're lasered in, even without their big weapons that they've lost. Mahomes is just on a different planet this year. So yeah, you're playing Jamar Chase if you have him. He's top 20 wide receiver. Go check him out for sure. It sounds like we got another super chat. My man Steven Drix. So generous today. Sorry, we keep double clicking it. You got it. All right.
ESPN has Mixon as a long shot and Pirine projected. Would you go Pirine or Pierce?
Oh, that's a tough one. Like, if I was guaranteed Perine was in, he's probably a safer play than Dameon Pierce. But without that guarantee, with the slight chance that Mixon gets elevated, and then suddenly you're going from like Perine being a great play to nothing, and then it's like, who else do you have? I actually just like Dameon Pierce better anyways, I think. I really like this matchup today. Again, I want to keep emphasizing it. I already see a bunch of Dameon Pierce questions today. We got a bunch of them on Thursday, me and the truth. And honestly, we kept going Dameon Pierce. I know the last 2 weeks are terrifying. I know the Houston offense is hideous. It's even worse with Kyle Allen somehow. But don't forget that this guy for 8 straight weeks had double-digit fantasy points, was a top 15 running back for I think like 6 of those 8 weeks, and just was really, really solid all year. I still believe in the player. I think he's had a couple tough matchups, a couple tough breaks with game flow. And yeah, the game could get away from them this week too. Just Deshaun Watson back there. What if they get down by 3 touchdowns in the first quarter? It's like, oh shit, here we go again. But I think Pierce has a nice rebound today. Are you said you're with me, right? You like Dameon Pierce today?
Yeah, I'm on his prize picks today.
Prize picks, underdog, yeah. Where I have Pierce, he's in my lineup today, Steven, and I would have him over Perine. Even if we had guaranteed Mixon out, I still think I'd go Dameon Pierce. That's how good I feel. Risk that maybe Mixon's elevated. That could be that just pushes it over the edge. I don't think we're going to be disappointed. I think Pierce finds the end zone at least once, maybe even twice. We've seen him rip off huge plays, and this defense gives up monster chunks to the running back position. So I like Dameon Pierce a ton today. I'm going back to the Wolf back. I have no issues there. All righty, back to our wide receiver notes. We're up to about 40 of you. Now we're getting to our usual numbers. You love to see it. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday mornings with us. If you don't mind, hitting that thumbs up button while you gather in here. It does truly help us get out to more people. We wouldn't keep asking for it if it didn't. But keep getting those questions in. Keep getting that thumbs up for us. It'd be so greatly appreciated. And as Stephen Drakes has shown, if you do want to jump the line, that super chat is a great, easy way to do it. Some new names out there too. Love to see them. Please do consider subscribing to the channel if you enjoy it. We're live 4 times a week, covering everything you need, answering your questions every single show. So please do consider subscribing if you're out there. We're so close to 3K. Hoping to get there by the end of the season. We got about 4 or 5 more weeks to do it. I bet we can, Wolfpack. You guys would be so greatly appreciated if you can help that out if you haven't already. All right, continuing on with wide receivers. Deebo, the other big name today. It was looking pretty pessimistic as of Friday. He did not practice. And then Shanahan said they were expecting him to go to full. And it didn't happen. But Adam Schefter coming out last night at 3 in the morning at some point saying Deebo Samuel plans to play in week 13. He's feeling much, much better this week. He's made big improvements throughout the weekend. So Deebo's in. He's in your lineup. Of course, you got to have those backup plans ready. Honestly, like this one would sound like an insane backup plan. But Juwan Jennings had 7 targets last week. You remove Deebo out of there in a game that they're going to probably have to throw. I don't even hate Juwan Jennings. He's going to be out there in your league, so it's not like Deebo's going to leave you completely stranded. If he's out, it's a natural pivot to go on over to Juwan Jennings, who, again, had good volume last week, made some really clutch third down catches for this team. So I'm playing Deebo. No hesitation here. Big game. They're going to need all the players, all the explosiveness they can get. Mike Williams is out. Josh Palmer right back in the lineups. No hesitation. Guy's great. Obviously, Keenan Allen, he's got the nuts matchup for slot receivers today. The easiest matchup all season by like the past 7 seasons. That's how bad the Raiders have been against the slots. So good DK play for sure. Again, that 4 o'clock slate, like you got the Raiders versus the Chargers. There is so much explosive potential on these games, especially the later ones today. So check out Keenan Allen if you haven't already. Good price point for a top 10 receiver. Brandon Cooks is also going to be out. You know, you got Nico Collins, 4,200, very popular. Given that, and I get it, it's a good game to stack if you're going a lot on these Browns. I'd actually kind of like pivoting instead to Chris Moore, who always seems to step up when he's thrust into the starting lineup. He's only 3,200. So if you're really playing in the weeds anyways and you're getting that disgusting, save the $1,000, go to Chris Moore, and then just see what happens from there. But ideally, obviously, you don't have to go to either of these guys. We're just talking about DraftKings punts here, especially if you're stacking that game up. Kadarius Toney, not going to play. It sucks. He definitely had that like stretch run hero feel, had the perfect path towards it, and now he's just going to be out with a hamstring the rest of the season at that. So that sucks, but you still got your Burks, your Christian Watsons, and maybe even Jameson Williams as stretch run heroes. He is now activated from the injured reserve, likely to play today, make his debut against the Jags. Now, I wouldn't expect him to get a full-time role. I would have a hard time trusting him today, even in a game flow. I really like that Jags Lions game. Again, fun day of NFL action today. That could be I think it was part of my take was calling this like the the next man up, like what team's going to be the for real? Because both of these teams, the Lions and the Jags, are kind of flashing some upside. This could be like who's taking the throne, who's going to be that next team that really does take a leap for next year. So we will see. But he's only 45% roster right now, Jameson Williams. Like, go get him. If he's somehow out there on your league, their playoff schedule is so soft for the fantasy playoffs. They're always chasing points. This guy is so damn explosive. But remember when Mike Mayock came on our podcast, he compared him to Tyreek Hill, given that level of explosiveness. He had like 15 touchdowns. Like, I think 10 of them were over 20-plus yards. The kid can wreck the game. So I really like Jameson Williams. Make sure you go check your waiver wire. If he's somehow out there, there's very few people like that have that much upside for your stretch. Cut Odell at this point. Given that Odell, there's considerable doubt that he's going to return to play this year. Even if he does at this point, there's so many reports. He's going to be ready by the end of November. Then it was early December. Now it's the end of December. Even if he comes back, let's say he signs with the Cowboys this week, the earliest he's probably going to be playing is week 15. Maybe you put him in like week 16 if he has a nice debut. But we're really holding out for Odell Beckham to be fully healthy for maybe one streamable week in your fantasy playoffs at this point. I don't know that the roster spot is quite worth it.
I'm not into roster him.
No, I haven't
really even looked for him anywhere.
Yeah, so I'd cut him for Zamir White. Like, why not? What if Jacobs is ruled out today? Or what if Jacobs gets dinged up? Got to keep in mind, Jacobs is on that 1 year deal. Like, they did not pick up his 5th year option. Completely moronic, by the way. Like, why wouldn't you? Especially now, 300 total yards last week. But Jacobs is an absolute stud. So yes, there's the narrative. Like, they just ride him out and then he's out of town next year. But what if he just decides, like, I'm going to protect myself, and this calf injury, it's hurting a little bit today. I don't know if Jacobs is that type of guy, but you just never know what could happen, at least down the stretch with the Raiders out of it at this point. Maybe they do give Zamir White a hot hand approach and bench Josh Jacobs for a couple weeks down the stretch. Those are the type of guys at this point I'd rather have on my team. I'd rather have Chase Claypool, who I've seen dropped in a bunch of leagues, but Mooney we know is done for the year. Claypool's off the injury report this week. Again, don't like to start him, but we know the talent. We know the explosive player, the big body, something to check out there. And then just a wrap up here. Jerry Jeudy's expected to play again. Do not ever want a Bronco in my lineup, especially the secondary option. I don't even really like Sutton, but he still should probably be rostered. He had a couple good weeks before going down. I don't know. It's just the fucking Broncos. And then there's a list of illness, which you can put me on there. I'm feeling horrible today, but hopefully we get through this one. But a lot of wide receivers on the illness train here. Cortland Sutton, Treylon Burks, Michael Gallup, and Darius Slayton all had illness designations, but all of them are expected to play. And honestly, I really like them all, other than Michael Gallup as potential starts. And even Michael Gallup, I actually don't even hate. We saw him look as good as he's looked, 5 catches, 63 yards last week, some really nice, tough, contested grabs. So I do like Michael Gallup for the rest of the year. Again, I'd rather have him than Odell Beckham at this point. But I don't know that I trust him in the Colts' bottom 3 matchup for wide receivers. I'd like to continue to see him getting involved before I fully go in on him. But otherwise, I have no real problem starting Burks today. Darius Slayton has been rock solid since Wandale went down. But even before that, he's been solid. And Cortland Sutton, it's gross. It's, again, the Broncos. But he's back to 10-ish PPR points in 3 straight weeks. So if you need volume, he's going to get it. But it's still gross. And then we'll wrap up the news and notes segment and then on to all your questions.
We do have a super chat, too.
Oh, we have a super chat. Why don't we do that before we get to tight end? My fantasy football coming in with a nice $2 super chat. Let me find you here to pull it up. All righty. What do we got?
He's asking Fields, Brady, or Watson today.
I got to go Fields there. I mean, Brady against the Saints, always a risk. And already this year, Brady in general just kind of sucks. And then so Watson coming back, revenge game narrative. I see it all, but I keep emphasizing they can ease him in. They got Nick Chubb, one of the best running backs in the league, in the best possible spot for running backs. Why not ease in Watson? Sure, he might rope a nice deep ball to DPJ. I bet you he throws a couple touchdowns, but I'm not betting Justin Fields against a team that just gave up over 170 yards to Jalen Hurts, a quarterback that has been ripping humongous game after humongous game. It would be one thing if he was limited and there's a concern that he might shut down, but he practiced in full. He's not even on the injury report at this point, so I don't see any limitations to Justin Fields. In which case, 3 weeks ago, you would never have been asking this. You would have just had Justin Fields' lock button. So I'm going Fields, no doubt about it. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I don't think it's that close. Like you said, Brady kind of gets owned by the Saints every year. Saints were good last week. Watson, I can't trust it. Yeah,
there we go. Thank you, my fantasy football, for your super chat. Lock in Justin Fields. And Fields, zero hesitation doing so. He is an absolute monster. Wrapping up with tight ends, Both Njoku and Juwan Johnson are out. I like both of these guys, especially David Njoku, as a top 6 option throughout this year. So Harrison Bryant may be streamable if you're desperate. Maybe Taysom Hill gets a little more action. I know he's not really a receiving tight end anyways. Maybe Troutman gets his role elevated. That really matters for nothing other than like Monday Night Football showdown lineups. Maybe Troutman's like a $200 guy or something like that. Ends up finding the end zone. But David Njoku being up, Harrison Bryant has been decent as a streamer, and now his offense should theoretically have more explosiveness with Deshaun Watson. So Bryant's not a horrible play, a top 15 guy. I'd rather have him than Greg fucking Dulcich at this point. I'm done with that experience. Again, Broncos, none, no thank you. And then defensive line, there's a lot of line injuries that we wanted to cover really quickly, just because it could impact things this week, especially in that Miami 49ers game, which I do think shoots out. I've talked about it a lot this week, but I could see the line injuries playing a bigger role than we expect. Teron Armstead is doubtful, and then you got Austin Jackson for the Dolphins, the right tackle. So left tackle, right tackle, probably out for Tua this week. We know how ferocious that 49ers front seven is. So I could see Tua being under duress all day. I'm talking about it with a buddy at work today, this week. And Tua's, you got, like, as much as I love how he's playing, he definitely feels more fragile than your typical quarterback. Like, one big hit, and he could be on the sideline. This is a defense that can definitely get after him today. So, yes, I like Tua, but ultimately I've been bumping him below, like, Lamar Jackson and certain guys. I do think, again, this game could shoot out. I think Mike McDaniels will have the right game plan for these injuries to account for the pressure that Tua is going to be under, but it does make him just a little bit riskier, and it makes this game environment a little less likely to just go completely bonkers, because you also have Trent Williams, who left practice on Friday, questionable on the other side of things. So maybe this ends up becoming like the student and the teacher know each other too well and just becomes a gross, hideous, like 20 to 18. I don't know. I still think it shoots out, but what's your read on that game, San Fran versus Miami? That's a really interesting one later today.
Oh, it's going to be great. But, yeah, the San Francisco defense is so good. It's probably the best defense in the league. I would lean not Tua. It depends who I have, obviously, but I'd be kind of scared of that game. Especially, I don't know buying your Wilson thing either.
Which thing?
About how you're like starting Wilson everywhere.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit more nervous about it with Mostert fully ready to go off the injury report. I've bumped him down a few spots below like Jamal Williams. I still really like Jeff in this revenge game narrative. He's already talked about how he has a little extra zip today. But yeah, I bumped him below like Pollard, Dameon Pierce, even Alvin Kamara. I just got to go to those guys. It's a little safer than Jeff today. But I still like him. But the line injuries do have me a little bit more hesitant on this game as a whole for going completely all in on it. The one note I did see that I think is really important here is the 49ers defense is amazing. There's no arguing that by almost every metric. They're great against the pass, best team against the run so far this year. However, when you look at who they've faced quarterback, Mahomes is the only good one they've played all year. It's been backups, been lucky with injuries. And when Mahomes faced him, he put up like 420 in a touchdown. They had a couple injuries there, but he shredded them for multiple touchdowns, over 400 yards. This is really the second time they faced an actually legitimate quarterback. So, yes, I think the defense is good. I think in particular the passing defense might be a little bit overrated. They haven't faced anything like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill yet this year. So I'm a little hesitant to call these guys like a shutdown. I'm terrified of Tua now. I think it was a pretty good point. I forget where I saw it. I was in the Fantasy Points podcast that was talking about how they just have not faced anybody. They haven't really been tested yet. So we'll see there. David Bakhtiari is also out for the Packers against the Bears. We also have Jordan Davis likely back for the Eagles. Their run D has been really, really bad without this absolute monster in there. So Derrick Henry, he's probably going to be a good play anyways. But Jordan Davis in or out is going to go a long way to whether he's like a 30-point Derrick Henry day or like your usual 15 to 20 type of day. And last but not least, Lattimore is questionable. Who would have thought he'd make sure to get back for the Mike Evans matchup this week? So I bet you he's back. It does make me worried for Evans. He typically lives in his head, Lattimore does, even if he is dinged up. We'll see. Could be a good showdown there for Monday Night Football. I just love that he waited till now to potentially come back. So we'll see how that one shakes out. Wolfpack, that wraps up all our news and notes. Thank you so much for your patience there while we slugged through that. Hopefully it helped you kind of figure out what you want to ask, who you should be asking about. We do want to quickly just mention a sponsor for the show. Bettle is an awesome new app. They're giving you a free $25 to try it out. Again, they're only kind of advertising this in select spots because they want to get dedicated, just hardcore guys like they know the Wolfpack is out there to test it out, to give them some feedback. They said a lot of notes have been coming in from different users, including you guys, which is so awesome. Go check them out. The link is in the description. They're giving you a free $25 to play. It's an awesome app where you load your team from season long into the arena. Let's say you're the second most in points, but in like 13, in 12th place. We've seen that happen so many freaking times where you're like top 3 in points, but not making the playoffs. CJ, you've dealt with that every freaking year. I feel like this is a great way to then take your wagon of a team that's not coming through in fantasy, put it in the arena, and make some money back with the Bettle app. It's a great way to use them. Again, you upload your team from a season-long setting. You now then can square off with me, the Wolf. I'm in there. You swipe your matchups. You make a bet, $5, $10, whatever it is. Just adds in some new upside, some new fun. Never seen any app like this. Definitely an interesting spot to check out. So again, Bettle. The link is in the description. You can also download it and enter code RSJ, and you'll get, again, free $25. What do you have to lose? Download the app. Give it a try. If you blow your money and you don't enjoy it, then whatever. But I think most of you will enjoy it. We've gotten good feedback from users. Plus, again, they're gathering feedback to improve this app for an even bigger launch next year. So check out Bettle today. All righty. We are on to the mailbag, and I don't see any more super chats. So it's my guy, David Campanelli. You there to have?
No, he just texted me. He said he'll turn his camera on when he's.
Okay, perfect. So we will hit the rest of the mailbag until our call-in comes back. But remember, Wolfpack,
we have two other call-ins.
Oh, we do have some call-ins here. Starting with our guy, Jeff Lee.
Yes.
First time on the show, the ultimate hype man. So nice to meet you officially, Jeff. How are we doing this Sunday?
Good. I saw your link this morning, so I took advantage of it and just wanted to say hello. Thank you. And I love the show. I've been watching for about 3 years, and every show I watch them fully. So thank you, guys.
You're a legend, Jeff. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling. Do you have a question we can help you with, or just saying hi?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my main concerns are the questions I already sent in with the running backs, the committee with Rachaad White, so I'm sitting him. Also, Jefferson Wilson. So pretty much I'm starting who you guys were talking about this morning. Dameon Pierce, Jamal Williams, and Samaje. I'm really confident that Mixon's going to be out.
Yeah.
So that's something I've been, trying to figure out, and I got some good confirmation on that this morning that it's a long shot.
Perfect. So I love it. I love the play. You can go Dameon Pierce, Jamal Williams at 1:00. Good upside there. And then, I mean, as much as I do like Jeff Wilson today, that gives you a pivot. If Samaje isn't in, Jeff Wilson's also at 4:00. You can go right to him. But if we know Mixon's out, definitely a little bit safer to go Samaje, I'd say. So I love it. Good luck. You got good options there, Jeff. I think those are definitely the 3 top plays. You lasered in. Great stuff, my man. Thanks so much for calling in. It's great to meet you.
Okay, you got it, guys. Have a good day.
Best of luck today.
Right.
Thanks, Jeff. And then we got, I don't know if he's there or not, the Meat Sweats. Been an original OG guy for the show. Are we there, Mr. Meat Sweats?
I am so disappointed that my camera's not working, but I am here and I am so fired up for fantasy right now. Wolfpack, listen up. I'm seeing a lot of Justin Fields questions out there. Smarten up. The guy's a G. He's ride the horse that got you there. If he's playing, he's going to go all the way in. He's going to take a shot. He's going to be 95% of who he is. 95% of who he is going to be better than any option you have. My question really is, I mean, I have Trevor Lawrence going against Detroit. Like, that's a great option, but I'm leaning towards riding Justin Fields. He's the horse that got me here. I started 0-3, and I listened to the Wolf Pack. I listened to the Wolf himself and got myself to 8-4, 7-1 over my last 8, and I'm riding Justin Fields. Wanted to get confirmation from that take, or I have Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, but I still feel Fields' upside is through the roof, and he's the ride the horse that got you there.
I 100% agree, Meat Sweats, and we've been locked in step with our quarterbacks all year. I also have Trevor Lawrence, Watson, and then Justin Fields as well. And I'm going right back to our boy. And when we've locked stepped our quarterback so far this year, even Trevor Lawrence is a fill-in guy last week for him. Got us to 25, 26. We've been A+ these last 4 weeks. I got to ride the same hot hand with you. We got to keep it in lockstep. And I was going to go Justin Fields anyways. So the fact that you're going him too, Mr. Meat Sweats, I'm locked in. 170 plus yards to Jalen Hurts last week. Could easily see 150 plus for Fields on the ground. So we don't even care what he does from that point on. It's just gravy if he throws for 1 or 2 touchdowns as well. I'm all in. We're riding this guy. He got us there, like you said. We're not putting it. The fantasy locker room, you'd lose him if you as good as Lawrence played. It was admirable, but still, you got to go with the guy, like you said, that got you there. All in on him. I'm with you there, Meat Sweats. What about you, CJ? Watson, Lawrence, or Justin Fields?
Oh, definitely Fields with that group. I know I was leaning Dak, and now I've been talking to Fields.
It's Fields Day, baby. Get on the train. Join me in the Meat Sweats. We haven't been wrong on QB for 4 straight weeks. Largely because Fields has been so fucking good. But even in fill-in duty, when me and Meat Sweats have been lined up, it's been money. So we are in line again, my man. Thank you again, Meat Sweats. So glad. It's been like years since you called into the show. It's great to have you back, Sweats.
Yes, I will be making more appearances. Hopefully I can figure out the chromosome issue and get my camera on next time. But we'll be back and ready to go.
Absolutely. I love it, my man. Thanks again for the call in, Sweats. And that prompts me to remember, because I know Meat Sweats is a local guy. Anybody that's local here, we're going to be going live at Old Planters, not this week, not next week, but the week after, December, 16th? I think the date is December 16th, 18th, whatever the next Sunday is. Not this one, not the one after, but the one after that. In 2 weeks, we're going to be live at your favorite brewery in Beverly, Old Planters, folks. Come on down. Get a beer with me and CJ. First live show, probably the only live show to kick off your fantasy playoffs. Only 2 weeks left to get there. If you're local, get your ass there. And a lot of the guys, I've been thrilled to see so many of you guys out there that might not be able to make it, but are even considering coming from like New Jersey, from all these crazy places. Man, obviously it would be legendary if you can make it up. We will hopefully someday be traveling around and doing shows everywhere. We'll see. But either way, if you're local or can make the trip, we'd love to see you guys out there, Wolfpack. Old Planters Brewery next weekend. Come on in live. Red Zone watch party. Oh, not next weekend. 2 weekends from today. Come see us at Wolfpack. It'll be great. All righty. Is David back? I know I saw him for a second.
I just texted him. I don't know if he is. But Heggs is up.
Yeah,
Maybe.
we got our typical call. Mr. Heggs, what's going on? Usually it's some sort of like fire this coach or some player, but I love it. Just Heggs today. What do we
I'm
got?
just Heggs today. That's it.
Just Heggs.
Because that's how I feel. And so I got obviously the quick fantasy question: Gus Edwards or Kyren Williams? And this is weird to me because I shouldn't be asking this fucking question because it seems so stupid. But I think Kyren Williams. What's he gonna do, Wolf? Like, is he a thing? Is he something that we've been sitting on for weeks and it's not gonna be a thing, or is he actually gonna fucking do something today? I can just picture before I let you go. I can just picture today seeing Kyren Williams' first career touchdown on the TV screen today.
You're feeling the vibes. You hear Scott Hansen, first time into the end zone for Kyren Williams out of Notre Dame. I mean,
to cut the lead from 45-0 to 45.
Yeah,
exactly. But like, I think it's going to happen, and I think that would be the reason for him to be played over Gus. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Is it full PPR or half PPR, Heggs?
It's full PPR.
That does tighten the gap. It does. I still lean Gus. No Dobbins today. He had 84% of the carries last week. We know he's always a viable touchdown threat. They love pounding him at the goal line. The Denver D is good, obviously a good defense this year, but more so of a run funnel than a pass defense. So I think Gus is a good bet to find the end zone much more than banking on Kyren finding the end zone for the first time in this hideous offense. No line. John Wolford is the QB. They could get completely shut out today by the Seahawks, who have an okay defense. That's all you need to make sure you give up no points to a John Wolford-led awful Rams team. That all being said, in full PPR, he's got all the Kyren, the 2-minute offense, the no-huddle stuff, the down and distance work, and I think they're going to have to throw it to even try, to keep themselves in the game. So I could see a bunch of like dink and dunks, 6 to 7 catches. If I'm banking on Kyren, it's more so the catch-up mode, dink and dunk receptions rather than the touchdowns. I don't know that they find the end zone this week, but it does seem like they're trying to transition to maybe just a Kyren Williams only backfield. I still go Gus Edwards, though. That's all to say. And I've for whatever it's worth, ever since Stafford and Kupp went down, I kind of was like, no reason to hold on to Williams at this point. This offense is too hideous. Even if he had a 3-down role in this gross setup, I don't even think it's worth all that much. So I'm going Gus Edwards, even in the PPR setting. The only reason would be maybe dink and dunk to Kyren, gets him there in PPR, but I don't want to trust anybody on that team. What about you, CJ?
You're right.
Yeah, I was texting with Heggs earlier. I'm on the Gus train today. The old Gus bus. Get on.
Get on the Gus bus,
I think
baby.
you got to ride the Gus bus. Like I think that's what it comes down to. Like I think you have to.
The Rams offense is just so gross.
Yeah, and like I don't want to be on the verge of jumping off the Beverly Salem Bridge because of the Gus bus or the fucking or Kyren Williams. Like I want to be better for myself. So I'm probably gonna avoid that in general. But all right, I have 5 prize picks because I know I like to lose people money.
Honestly, I think you're over 300 when you call it.
Over 300, but today's the day, and that's the that's
You do. Let's hear him quick, my man. Let's get those prize picks. Let's do it.
That's the mindset of the gambler, and today is the day. Tua over 270. What the fuck am I looking at? Tua over 270 versus San Francisco. Yes, it's going to be a different week for Tua. He's going to actually have to throw the ball. 270. He fucking slings for 300 every week. I'm not even going to go into that. Like, he's going to throw for over 270 today. Jalen Hurts is at his lowest number in, like, weeks. 219.5 pass yards. He's been at, like, 250 for the last, like, I don't even know, million weeks because he's my starting quarterback, and he doesn't go over that at all. 219 for Jalen Hurts, and I think he's going to go over that. I'm not even going to talk about Nick Chubb because he's going to – I am playing Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry in fantasy today. Shout out to Nicky Terrio. He has both of them, and they're going to combined probably 500 rushing yards. I'm not really sure. But anyone who plays the Houston rush defense is going to rush for 100 yards. Nick Chubb on Prize Picks is 94.5 right now.
Gosh. That's the best one you've said so far, easily.
Yes. That I got 94.5, and that was like 3 days ago when I bet that because I'm a psycho. But I think he is hovering around then right now. Derrick Henry is 85.5, and he hasn't gone over 85 in 3 weeks. And if you were to hold the gun to my head and say that Derrick Henry was not going to rush for 85 yards 4 weeks in a row, then you might as well blow my brains out because he is going to run for 85 plus yards today.
Check the Jordan Davis injury, though. That's a huge thing for that defense, whether he's in or out. We haven't got final confirmation there, but they've been an absolute seth without Jordan Davis. I feel pretty good about it either way, but if he's out, even better, in my opinion.
And then you guys talked about it. Kyren Williams is at 35 yards for
rushing or total?
Rushing.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not putting my 5-game parlay on Kyren Williams back. I'll tell you that much.
I understand, but come on, man, 35 yards, like
I would see what his receptions are, honestly. Like if he's got like 2.5 receptions or 3.5 even, maybe that. But I don't trust him to get to 35 rushing, to be honest.
To 35?
I don't know. They're gonna get blown out. The only way he's gonna get it done is through the air. He's not a good running back. So we will see. Well, that's not the guy I'm going to. I love the Chubb call. I do like the Jalen Hurts one in a pass funnel defense. Henry, especially if Davis is out, a great call. We'll see on Tua. I think they're going to need to throw. It's a matter of does his lineman, who his 2 tackles, hold up today? Does he get drilled by the defensive line and end up concussed like we've often seen? That's the only risk to him. The last one's the one that's like, no fucking way. Kyren Williams. I'm not trusting that at all. But
all right.
Hey, I love the prize.
Hold on. So what do you think of Deshaun Watson today? Like honestly, like what do you think is going to happen today?
I think they're going to run the ball down the throat with Nick Chubb, and like Watson's going to be fine, but he's not going to be an amazing play. They're going to ease him in today. So I have him on my benches where I have Deshaun Watson.
I'm curious, like, does he come out and fucking crush it, or does he like?
I think he does well, but I just don't know that they're going to need him. I don't think they rely on him because they're not going to need to. And that's how I view it. All righty. Well, we got a huge super chat, so Hegs, we got to run. But thank you again, as always, bringing the prize.
Boys.
Go Gus Edwards. Don't count on fucking Kyron Williams. But thank you, as always, for your support. And prize picks, again, Underdog Prize Picks. You see it in the top right there. Awesome platform. So fun to play. Check them out. They give you 100% match.
Paying for 300 yesterday at the USA game.
You won 300?
Yep.
Hell yeah. Good stuff. So definitely tail CJ's picks. We'll give you some when we sign off here at about 12:45. CJ will maybe do a quick prize picks and Underdog Fantasy for his favorites. But we did get a very generous super chat. Thank you so much, Hillary from the kitchen over there, sending us $20. You did not need to do that. It's very, very supportive and so appreciated. But let's get to this one, CJ.
Right from the joint bank account.
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. I plan to play Ayuk and also have Garrett Wilson in. I have Pickens in for my flex. I was told to pick up Jameson Williams. I wonder who told you that to do that. Do I play him? Thanks for the help.
So I keep it as is, as for that. But I 100% keep it as is. As much as I love Jameson Williams, the stash, cannot wait to see what he does down the stretch run. All those other rookies have had time to get their feet under them, have clearly played very, very well too. So Ayuk's the lock. No way we're taking him out in that shootout style game. Wilson's a lock. I'm not taking him out right now against a Minnesota team giving up top 3 points, 2 wide receivers with Mike White, an absolute monster. And Pickens gets a top 2 matchup. Atlanta has already had a monster day. So I love all of those guys for sure. So you're saying Cortland Sutton versus Williams?
You broke my heart too many times. Versus Pickens. I don't know.
No. I go Pickens over Sutton too.
Should I play Sutton at all?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I don't like him anymore.
No way to play Sutton either. I wouldn't play Jameson Williams over Sutton, though, if it came down to that. But, no, I keep those receivers exactly as you have them. Ayuk, Garrett Wilson, Pickens locked over Jameson Williams, over Sutton as well. Feel really, really good. I love all those rookies on DraftKings today, too. Like Wilson, everybody loves Garrett Wilson, 5,300. But Pickens is 5,100. I think he's a great play today. And Christian Watson's 5,200. I have like a lot of lineups where it's just all 3 rookie receivers to go nuts today. So we will see. If they go nuts, then we're gonna win some money today. But what about you, CJ? You're in agreement that we can't play Jameson Williams quite yet over these other guys?
I'm definitely waiting to see how he is. I mean, he could definitely catch a bomb today, but we're just gonna have maybe 4 targets.
Yeah, I mean, he might be a 50% or so snap player in his first action back, first NFL career action. I can't imagine he's playing all the snaps, but he is that good that like one play is all he needs. That's why you're picking him up and stashing him and seeing what he does first. So thank you again so much for your generous support. It's greatly appreciated. And we got another $10 super chat. Very generous today, Wolfpack. Thank you again so much for all the super chats. The last couple of weeks, you guys have been rocked, just making our year so much, so appreciated. Just always coming in here, willing to support your boys. And it goes so long. You guys, we can't really understate it. It's so big. So thank you guys so much. Mike Duty with $10. We really, really appreciate it. What we got for you?
Mike Duty, PPR. I plan on rolling with Deebo over Edwards. I'm picking up DeAndre Carter as a pivot. Edwards safer with Deebo injury, but do not want to pass up San Francisco Miami game. Oh, and I hate Gabe Davis.
I wish he'd come in, Mike Duty, for a Thursday show. Maybe you were here, but we typically said bench Gabe Davis. And at first I was like, fuck. He scores that touchdown. Here comes 3 touchdowns, and I'm an absolute idiot. But ultimately, that was all he did, 8 points. So, yeah, I'm happy he was on my bench for Christian Watson. I'm guessing he means Gus Edwards, right? Is there any other Edwards that this could be?
I think that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. You have to go Deebo over Edwards. There's really no debating that one. Even, honestly, DeAndre Carter and Edwards is, like, not that far off. So to have the potential access to that game, as you say, to Deebo Samuel, too. If this game is going to shoot out, they're going to need Deebo Samuel to do his thing. So, yeah, I absolutely play Deebo over Gus Edwards. Obviously, you got to keep tracking the news. As of right now, he was planning to play, made some huge strides this weekend was what they were saying. So, yeah, I'm rolling Deebo over Edwards. I don't really think twice about that one. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay, cool. So we're in lockstep there. And, yeah, Gabe Davis, man, it's just such a frustrating – what a disappointing pick this year. It's just that awful conundrum type of guy. And I got to keep trying to avoid these guys in the future where, like, you can't bench them because you know they're going to go off when you do. And then when you finally, like, you can't keep them in either because they're only getting you 6-7 points. So I finally benched him this week, and he did not spite me, which kind of felt nice. It kind of felt freeing to be released from the Gabe Davis chains this week. Yeah, but I'm going Deebo Samuel as long as he's in. And then you got Carter to pivot to. That's not really too bad of an option as well. Thank you so much, Mike, for the super chat. It is so greatly appreciated, my guy. All righty. David Campanelli, as always, calling in, my man. So good to see you, brother. How are we?
I'm all right. I've recovered from Thursday, so I'm ready to shoot some bangers at you now.
Hell yeah. Yeah, those questions were pretty rough on Thursday. I loved it, though.
Yeah, but you've backtracked on everything you answered on Thursday. So we can go to the videotape. So in a quarterback, Geno, Watson, or Jimmy?
That's truly my 11, 12, and 13.
I saw that this morning when I woke up and walked the dog, and I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those days.
And I just moved Jimmy into that. I know there was a tier gap between like Watson and Jimmy. And then I was just thinking about, I was like, if I love this game so much, I cannot have a tier gap between these guys either. So I bumped Jimmy just to make it that much trickier into that same tier with the other guys. That's tough. I think Geno's certainly the safest here. He's been pretty lights out the last few weeks. They have no Aaron Donald. And they're kind of at the point, like, I wouldn't be shocked to see like Ramsey play fewer snaps today. They're just kind of in tank it mode. And they ultimately don't even have draft picks. So it's like tank it mode doesn't mean anything for them. But they're probably just like protecting their assets at this point and not getting hurt. Geno, 328 the last time out. He's got back-to-back 20-point days. It's a bad secondary too. So with no Donald, with defenders pulled out, I think he's the safest option. I do have Watson a spot higher, just on the off chance like revenge, comes back, goes crazy. Yeah, 19, 21, 19, and 23 for Geno. I got to go Geno. I'm going to bump him up in my rankings to reflect that because like I feel pretty good about that too. I just really think Watson comes out. He has a solid day, but they just pound Chubb some more. And it's like, what does that leave Watson ultimately for fantasy? So I'm going to go Geno over Watson. And Jimmy's
I like Watson the least out of the three, honestly.
Do you? Okay, yeah.
I mean, they are all pretty close, but I would go Geno, Jimmy, Watson.
Okay. There, yeah, again, 11, 12, 13. But yeah, I think we're both at least in lockstep. We have Geno the highest.
Okay, and it's a full PPR league. I have Elijah Moore going right now just because Mike White, and he targeted Moore a little bit more last week. But would you go Moore, Michael Gallup, or DeAndre Carter? Because I have OBJ on my bench, so I can cut him to pick one of them up.
Yeah, he definitely can be cuttable at this point. Is Jameson Williams out there? Go pick him up first. Do not let him sit out there.
See, it's hard for me because I have Amon-Ra, so running both Detroit guys out would not be the greatest idea in the world.
Probably not. But even then, like, you don't want Jameson Williams on your opponent in week 15, and he has 150 yards and 2 touchdowns against you. Even if it's on your bench, it's better than somebody else's starting lineup, too.
True.
So, if he's out there, get him now. Okay. But in terms of starting, I mean, honestly, I might even like Jameson Williams more than those guys. But it's riskier today. I guess it's Eli Moore. I mean, the risk with him is he played only about 45% of the snaps. When he was in, he got targeted. He ran like 10 routes, and he got targeted twice. So it was a solid percent when he did get in there and run. But it seems like he might still be in the doghouse. Mike White definitely rises all the ships there with the Jets. Part of me just wants to go to DeAndre Carter and just like go with the Chargers offense, more stable role. I don't know. I clearly I don't like any of these guys that much. Is like Nico Collins out there? No Brandon Cooks. Like they're probably going to need to chase some points. I almost would rather have Nico Collins as a desperation streamer here. Is he out there?
Let me double check really quick. I did not see him when I checked earlier.
Yeah, I'd consider him.
Nope, somebody has Nico.
What about? So the only other one I'll toss out there is Van Jefferson. Is he out there?
Let's see. He was last week.
Because he's the true number one.
He's out there.
He might be, with no Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp done for the year too. He also has some like rest of season juice as well, where it's like he might be the number one. Maybe he has a big day today and just is like a good solid wide receiver 3 the rest of the year. I kind of like him. Gallup falls in that same boat too. Like if I was going to go to Carter, I'd almost rather just go to Gallup because he has some more rest of season juice as well. So I'm leaning either Van or Gallup here over Carter, over Elijah Moore. I just don't know that I trust him ever getting out of the doghouse right now. But I guess the matchup's good with Minnesota too. So it's tough. What about you, CJ? Who do you like of all these shitty wide receivers?
Hey, you're welcome, Campanelli, by the way. I just hit your DraftKings pick.
Oh, CJ's made me more money this weekend than I think I've generated in like 2 weeks.
I love it. Cash with CJ. Great stuff.
Stalker is CJ. What, between those disgusting receivers that he was talking about?
Yes.
That made me fall asleep.
Thanks, CJ.
I would, out of that group, I mean, I would. They're all. It's kind of like a flip of the coin there. I probably would go DeAndre Carter if you had to pick between those three.
So it's. Let's remind the guys. It's DeAndre Carter. It's Michael Gallup, Van Jefferson, Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's gross.
I'd probably go DeAndre Carter out of that group. I can't trust the Rams offense. I know Van's like the only viable playmaker on that offense, but I still can't trust him. I just pick the best offense. Go DeAndre Carter.
Okay, not a bad play. Yeah, I think I go either Van or Gallup because I think they could have more long-term value than any of the other guys.
All right.
But
no, I appreciate it.
Tough. You got to just trust the gut on that one because there's really no clear good answer to any of those. So,
and then I did drop a question in the super chat, not in the super chat. I dropped one in our normal chat.
Okay.
But add Zamir White to that because I'm going to cut OBJ in that league too.
Okay, perfect. Sounds
Thanks,
good.
Wolf. Everybody, like, comment, subscribe. It's almost 12 o'clock. Share. Get the Wolf Pack up. Let's go.
Hell
and
yeah.
hopefully I can see everybody on the 17th if my wife lets me out of the house.
That'd be awesome. If you can escape and get up here, that'd be so fun to have a beer with you and meet you, David.
Yeah,
we can only hope, my man. But
have
awesome.
Talk to you later.
Have a great Sunday. Best of luck today, Campanelli. All righty. One more call-in, and then we're going to get right to the mailbag here. Mr. Tunes, something with Tunes. How are we doing today, brother?
How's it going?
Very good.
I got one league where I have far too many running backs, and I don't know what to do. I'm obviously going to start Barkley, but with ETN coming off injury, I'm not sure if I should go either David Montgomery, Jeff Wilson, Zeke, or Zonovan Knight.
Ooh, a lot of options. You just need one of them, or did you start two of them?
I need one, and I do have a flex spot where I have Christian Watson in, which with Rodgers with a broken thumb and possibly Jordan Love coming in kind of scares me.
He did catch a touchdown from Love last week, too. So I think he's viable regardless of who the quarterback is. But I would probably play Etienne at running back too. And I honestly think I'd play Montgomery ahead of Christian Watson, just a safer, like again, no Kyron or what's his name? Freaking who's the running back there? Not Kyron Williams. Hill. What's his name? The guy on IR right now. That's better than him. Khalil Herbert.
Herbert. Yeah.
He's gone though. When he's gone, we've seen Montgomery be an absolute workhorse back. So I like Montgomery. It's a good matchup. Green Bay's a bottom 5 run defense in the league right now. I think you're getting 18 to 20 carries, good shot at the end zone. As good as Watson's been, and the upside probably is there. Like the ceiling play is Watson. I feel like you just got some nice stability with David Montgomery. Now, if you didn't want the Etienne risk, I could understand that too. But to me, against Detroit, he's been so rock solid all year, and he was able to go in last week. They just held him out. I really like Travis Etienne. I have no problem firing him right back up. What say you, CJ, in all these questions?
These questions are kind of gross.
Yeah, so many good running backs. It's tough.
Yeah.
What were the running backs again?
So I'm starting Barkley as my RB1.
Yeah.
Right now I have ETN as my RB2, but I have Montgomery, Jeff Wilson, Zeke, and Zonovan Knight.
I mean, I feel like you got to go Zeke after that performance last week.
Really? It's tossing Zeke into here now too.
He looked fantastic over the last 2 weeks. I think I'm going Zeke, honestly.
Oh, just
who would you put in the flex then, CJ?
What?
Would you put any of those guys over Christian Watson in the flex?
No, I still have the big play of Watson.
All righty. Okay. Let us know you go, Tunes. A bounty of riches, a good problem to have, but certainly a headache. I can understand your struggles there. But good team all around. Thanks, cheers. Best of luck today, Tunes. All right. It looks like we had one more super chat come in while we're taking our call in line. A couple more. So we got Sleazy first up.
Zay Jones or Scary Terry, half point PPR.
Oh, man. I mean, Zay Jones coming off 14 targets, 10 targets the week before. I get why he's in this conversation. And I remember last week when someone brought up Zay Jones, we're like, huh, no way. Why would you ever consider this guy? I mean, clearly he was like a top 5 receiver last week. He should be in these questions. I still go Scary Terry. I mean, he's had 25% or higher target share every week with Taylor Heineke. Those guys are boys. Like he keeps talking about all week how he'd go to battle with him every single time. So I go Scary Terry, even though Zay Jones is coming off a great game, even though it is a good atmosphere. I just feel like McLaurin, like the last couple weeks, he's only at 9-ish, but he's due for that blow up, like the way he's been getting targeted. So I go Terry. What about you?
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Him and Heineke are so great together.
They're just, they're boys. So
Caleb Brown, PPR, Olave, or Lockett?
I love Lockett today. And I do like Olave. I mean, he's been rock solid all year, but I have Lockett in my top 15. He was in our higher, lower Hail Mary. The guy's been a top 30 wide receiver every single week since week 2. And he's at double digits in all but one of those weeks. Like he's been really, really solid. He's had a couple ceiling days, but he hasn't even hit that full ceiling. You got maybe Ramsey on DK today. I love Lockett. I like Geno. I like the entire Seahawks passing. I like the Seahawks offense in general today, but I especially love Lockett. So I feel better about him. I feel like Olave's been similar to Lockett, but like Lockett just is more guaranteed, in my opinion, at least while Andy Dalton's playing.
Yeah, I'm picking the better offense. I'm going Lockett.
All righty, there we go. Thank you guys so much for your support. We got 2 more super chats coming in here. You guys are very generous today. It's so greatly appreciated.
Omar, I need 2 between Devonta Smith, Sutton, and White. I'm benching the Bronco, of course. Full PPR, I need to win this to get in.
Oh, man. That's a tough one, Omar. Like, I wanted to say Rachaad White, but with Fournette likely back here, it definitely makes that a little tougher. I'm with you, CJ. I don't want to have the Bronco in my lineup. I never want to have to watch those games and figure out where it's going. So I think in full PPR, this becomes a Devonta Smith game. I know in higher, lower Hail Mary, he was my lower. The more I thought about it, I mean, this is a defense giving up the second most points to wide receivers. He's had a 30% target share in back-to-back weeks. He just hasn't had much touchdown luck bounce his way. This could absolutely be a ceiling game for Devonta Smith, though. So I'm leaning him. I think I'm going to go Devonta here. Just him versus Rachaad White's really close to me, but I'm with you. I cross off the Bronco at least. Full PPR.
He needs 2 of these.
Oh, okay. Then we cross off the Sutton, and that's easy. All righty, that makes it easier for us, Omar. Do you agree with that? Like Sutton versus Rachaad White?
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Even with Lenny back, Rachaad White, you did start that game in Germany. So.
Right, exactly. I think he's going to definitely get the first crack at it. Definitely a dump-off machine last time out there. So I think he can get there on just the dump-offs alone. Whether he finds the end zone or not, just raises the ceiling even more. Omar, let's win. Let's get this win, brother. I love you. You've been such a loyal fan all these time. I really hope we come through for you and you make it into that dance this week. Let's go.
Broderick, half PPR, Juju, DeAndre Carter, Zay Jones. Between those?
I got to go Juju. I know last week, 40% of the snaps, didn't play often. But when he was in, I mean, he had 3 catches for like 38 yards, even on less than 40% of snaps. Like, that was pretty good. Before getting hurt, he had 20 points in 2 games. He had 18 in the other one. He was looking like he was rock solid. Can't bench him. He has finally emerged as the guy. Now you have Tony out. Like, I feel like his role will continue. We see that often with the Chiefs. They have a guy come back. They play him, less than half the snaps, get his feet wet, and the next week he comes out. They can't afford to have Juju not be an every snap player against the Bengals this week. So I'm rolling Juju there. As much as I like Zay Jones would definitely be the next man up, I feel like Juju's a tier or 2 above him. What about you?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was going to say. It's between Juju and Zay Jones for me. I'd lean Juju there.
Yeah, tough defense question here too.
Yeah, and then he's asking Jets, Seahawks, or Browns. Close matchup in either one.
I'm going to go that's really tough because you got the Seahawks facing John Wolford and the Rams. Clearly the best matchup of the banged up line. Like, that feels the safest. The Jets game could potentially shoot out. So I think I'm going to lean Seahawks defense here in that matchup against the Rams. What about you?
Yeah, I have them going in 2 out of 4 leagues. So
the Seahawks going to 2 out of 4. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
I know they were a big recommendation last week to stash them heading into that week 13
I
and
know
14.
we did. I think we did say to start them last week, even with the stash, and they did not look good at all.
They weren't good at all, but that was like more so to get to this Rams matchup, to get to the Panthers next week. They have a pretty good defense in general. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks there. I originally had the Jets higher in my rankings, but I am worried that game could potentially shoot out. Whereas I don't see the Rams ever topping 10 points today. So I'm going to go Seahawks there. I guess we're in lockstep there. Thank you so much, Broderick, Omar, everybody else for your generous
one more super chat.
Oh, nice. I mean, you guys are awesome today.
Brian Christensen, he needs 2 half-point PPRs, Samaje, Pacheco, or White. He needs 2 of these.
I think I benched Pacheco. With McKinnon back, we know he's the third down lead. This is game, again, I think it's going to be shootout back and forth, not much run game action. And the Bengals have a good run D too. I mean, they have a pretty good – they have just a good defense in general. But this feels like a 12 to 15 carry, like 60-ish yard day for Pacheco with maybe – he did get the goal line snaps last week. That is important. But McKinnon always works in there. And like a goal line back for the Chiefs. We've seen how many Travis Kelce handoffs or like Blake Bell or whatever the fuck it's going to be. So I don't like Pacheco that much. I feel like Samaje, assuming Mixon's out, is the lock. White is not far behind, even with Fournette probably back. I feel like he's kind of taking the reins on this backfield, and we get an eased-in role for Leonard Fournette. So I'm benching Pacheco out of this one. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, we had that question earlier. There's something similar. I'm not a Pacheco guy. I don't care about the 20 in between 20s grinder that he is. So.
Yeah, it's just I compare it kind of like Julius Jones, like a pretty good player and a good offense that just doesn't really get the value touches that we need to really get there in fantasy. So I like the upside of the other two guys for sure. Well, again, Wolfpack, if you want to jump the line, the way to do that is that super chat function while supporting your boys. But if you want to support your boys for free, we got over 50 here. We'd love to see that. We're back up to the numbers that we always love. That thumbs up button does help us grow, get out to more people, starting to see new names pile in there at the end of the mailbag. We're going to rip through all of this. But if you like the show, please do also consider helping us out and subbing to the show, hitting that thumbs up button as we approach 3K. We are so damn close, Wolfpack. CJ, I'm going to fucking piss my brains out, so I will be right back. Wolfpack, do you mind hitting a few of these, and I'll make sure to return and just double check what you say.
Yep. Campanelli, just like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And then Sebastian Alex and Morning Fellas need to start 2 of these. Olave, Deebo, Josh Palmer. For me, Deebo's the lock out of this, and then I would probably go Josh Palmer. I do love the offense better than the Saints offense. That is kind of a coin flip, but I'd probably prefer Palmer. I think Olave will be higher in Wolves rankings. Going to go by Wolves rankings. And then he's asking flex Monty instead of Kamara. Starting running backs are CMC and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is active, so I would I'd still probably go Kamara here over Monty, but I think Wolf would be in lockstep with me there. Giuseppe, good morning, gents. Happy Sunday. Pick one of these, Ayuk, Sutton, or Zay Jones. Actually, we already had this, so I'm going to go I'm going Ayuk here out of these 3. And then Russo again, Kamara, Rachaad White, full PPR. I'm going Kamara over Rachaad White. He's obviously going to be sharing the backfield with Lenny Fournette. I'm still the only one I think you would potentially disagree with is this. Who would you sit with out of the group? I was sitting Olave, but
I think I said Josh Palmer. That's close though. That's really tough. I do like that Raiders game. I like targeting that secondary, but I can't bench Deebo, and Olave's just been really solid. That's tough, but I think I bench Palmer. I just grab the talent and I go with the 2 better players in Deebo and Olave myself. You said you bench Olave though?
Yeah, it wasn't coin flip,
but
I do prefer the Chargers offense over.
Yeah, I get that. I get it. I have them within 5 spots of each other, so it's close, Sebastian. But I go Olave and Deebo.
And then would you flex Monty over Kamara? I said no, but it is close.
I wouldn't myself either, but honestly, it's not the craziest thing. And I will say this: I think Monty has a safer floor. So if you're just looking for like 10 to 15 guaranteed, Monty's going to get there, and he might even get more if he scores. I just think with Fields there, it does lessen the touchdown upside just because Fields is so damn good at the goal line too. So I think I go Kamara, but Kamara's been fucking brutal too. What a backfield, by the way, to have those 4, Sebastian. But yeah, I think I go Kamara. It's ugly, but I go Kamara.
And then pick one of these, Ayuk, Sutton, Zay Jones. I went Ayuk.
Yeah, I go Ayuk by a mile for Giuseppe. Yep.
Kamara, Rachaad White.
Kamara with Leonard Fournette back. I got to go Kamara there.
Yeah, and then Mike White or Kenny Pickett.
Definitely Mike White. I'm a huge Mike White guy. I really think he's the real deal. And he doesn't even – I think the play calling in particular is really, really good with the Jets. I saw a crazy stat, CJ, that the last 2 years, when it has been anyone other than Zach Wilson under center, the Jets are averaging the most passing yards per game in the NFL. More than the Chiefs, more than the Bengals, more than –
They're probably 32nd with Zach Wilson.
And they're, yeah, exactly, dead last. Like, they open up the playbook, it seems, because they don't trust their number 2 overall pick. Once they get anybody else in there, they sling the rock, they get it flying. So I love Mike White. I really like this kid. Super guy.
Happy Sunday, fellas. No question. We'd just like to hear your thoughts on CMC gearing up for a playoff run. Is he actually injured? Should I trade him? These 10 carries won't cut the mustard.
Is cut the mustard an expression?
Never heard that one.
I've never heard that one from Chillin, coming from the top rope here. But hey, here's my thoughts on CMC. Today is like the perfect chance to figure out what's he going to be. When they're in close games, playoff style games, crucial games like today, I think he's going to be an 80 to 90% snap player. We're going to get games like we had with those 3 touchdown monster not too long ago. You got Eli Mitchell on IR anyways, but especially in these close situations. The really only reason it's been an issue is they get up and then they just like, why risk CMC? Let's grind it out with Mitchell and let him finish off this game. So that's the risk, is maybe they give like Tyrion Davis-Price that role, or fat Tevin Coleman comes in and fucks that up. But I think we get CMC like rolling as a clear cut, maybe not a top 3 guy that we were locking in there and, Eckler level, but just below them, alongside the Jonathan Taylors, alongside, a healthy Joe Mixon, maybe Nick Chubb, like right in that area is right where I'd rank CMC the rest of the season. I just don't know their schedule well enough on the top of my head to like, if it's going to be one where the 49ers blank the team with their good defense and then can bleed the clock, I think they're going to do that too. So let me just quickly pull up.
He is definitely hurt though. Like he was wearing a patella brace type thing last week. I know someone pointed out on Twitter during the game he was wearing something on his knee last week.
He was removed from the injury report though. Am I right?
I mean, not patella, it was meniscus, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So he did have something on his leg. Someone pointed out during the game when he wasn't getting carries.
Yeah. All I know is he practiced in full. He said he feels great right now. That he's, like as good as he ever been. We saw that press conference where he was just all jacked up, ready to go. And then the next 3 games, they get Tampa Bay, Seattle, Washington. I mean, I don't think any of those are complete and utter runaways for the 49ers. So I think he'll be heavily involved. Then you got the Raiders in week 17, like the top 3 matchup for running backs right now. I think CMC is going to be cutting plenty of mustard the rest of the year for you, Chillard. I feel really good about him as like a clear top 10 guy, maybe not the top 3 lock we had been imagining for his role with this 49ers team, just because they will likely get someone involved when they can. But to me, the rest of the schedule looks like we're going to see a lot of CMC and tighter games here. So I feel great about him. I don't have any issue with him, especially, again, that he practiced in full. That was my real qualm, was like the meniscus is lingering. But off the injury report, I feel really good. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I have him locked in for my starter for the rest of the season. Well, I at least hope that he's there. Yeah. But it is good that he practiced in full. I mean, he is banged up, I guess, but I'm riding him. I'm not trading him.
There we go. All righty. I'd say about 5 more minutes of just like a regular pace. Then I'll get rapid fire going because we have a shitload of questions. I want to try to hit every single one we get. If you want an in-depth answer, though, you want to make sure that you get our thoughts fully fleshed out on your players. Please do consider that super chat button, especially if you're asking like Giuseppe Russo 8 questions in a fucking row. Maybe consider super chatting. No, we love our guy. We love the algorithm. It helps us out to always be here asking your questions. We're just fucking with you, Giuseppe.
Chiller just texted us. Where does the phrase "cut the mustard" come from? A breakdown from dictionary.
I look forward to that when we hang up today.
Giuseppe, Fryermuth or Everett PBR?
I'm going Everett. Fryermuth's been damn good with the volume too. No, I'm switching. I'm going Fryermuth. Yeah, he's been just as rock solid as anybody other than Kelsey and Andrews.
And if Deebo doesn't play, would you go Jawan Jennings or Van Jefferson?
I'd go Van, I think, to the clear number 1 there.
Foster Moreau or Evan Ingram?
I think I go
Foster Moreau guy.
Yeah. We're a Foster Moreau show. Yeah, I like Foster. I go him today.
Yeah, I'm with you too.
Chargers are going to have the third most points to tight ends, too.
Campanelli receiver need one Pickens or Zay Jones.
Oh, you know us. We're Pickens all through and through. And as good as Zay was, I got to go him.
Campanelli standard league flex and super flex need to start 2 of these. Pacheco, Heineke, Pierce, Bam, Knight, Zay Jones, Pickens.
I feel like in a super flex, I always get the quarterback in, and I rarely regret it. I would ask, is Mike White out there? I'd have him well above Heineke. But ultimately, I go Heineke. No, he's not. All right. I go Heineke, and I think I'm going Pierce. I'm sticking it out with Dameon today. Obviously, if he doesn't get it done in this type of matchup, we can't trust him the rest of the year. But I'm going back to the well. He was so damn dependable for 8 straight weeks. I know he's had 2 duds in a row. I'm going back to it. I'm going Dameon Pierce today. What about you over these other options?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going quarterback here, and then definitely Pierce over Pacheco overnight. Zay Jones. Yeah, I mean Pickens would probably be my next option, but I'd probably go Pierce. Though.
Yeah, especially too because it's a standard super flex. Like if it was PPR, we might consider some of those other receivers, but standard league quarterbacks are just that much more valuable too.
Bulldog's asking, would you start Burks over Pittman this year?
I have Pittman higher, but if you're not confident, if your gut's telling you go Burks, like it's not unjustifiable. I always say trust your gut here, and unless it's like a clear cut no, I must go Pittman. I don't think Pittman's a must go by any stretch of the imagination. So I would go Pittman myself. If you're really feeling Burks, that's justifiable. Absolutely.
I still hate myself for cutting Burks too.
Yeah.
He's Daniel Duong, Fields or Watson?
Fields all day. We talked about him quite a bit today, but yeah, we're going Fields.
Sarah Riley with always the most impossible questions. Half PPR start one of these. ETN, I'd probably go ETN. Jamal Williams, Wilson, or Swift.
Yeah, if you're worried about ETN, Jamal Williams isn't too far. He has that, again, 2+ touchdowns in like half his games this year. He's a beast. So if you're worried about ETN, you go Jamal. Personally, I'm going to go for the upside of ETN. He's a top 10 running back play against Detroit for me this week. But I get it. I get your worries. So not bad.
Jeremiah Morris start 3 of these. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sit 2. Half PPR, Kamara, Pierce, ETN, Wilson, Pirine.
This is a situation. I don't often say bench Jeff Wilson, but tough run D, banged up line, really good options otherwise. I think I'm sitting Jeff. I mean, I like all these options. I think Pirine's the next man to hit the bench, but if you guarantee Mixon's out, he's probably safer than Kamara. So you can wait it out too, because Kamara plays on Monday night. Like, see how your matchup's going. But if you want like a guaranteed 12, Pirine's going to get you that. Whereas Kamara, who the fuck knows these days? But I'd play Pierce and Etienne at 1 o'clock, kind of figure it out from there. But I would most likely go Kamara, Pierce, Etienne. But if Mixon's out and you just want some safety, Pirine's not bad. What about you, CJ? Who are you benching of these?
I'm locking in. Yeah, I'm going the first 3. Kamara, Pierce, Etienne.
All right, there we go. And the previous Colin, great to see our guy Jeff Lee. Oops, I got it. There we go. Good to see Jeff Lee. We need to pick 3 running backs, which we talked through. Again, I think it was Dameon Pierce, Samaje, and Jamal Williams was the guys we decided on. And you could, of course, pivot to Jeff if Samaje is not going to go.
Mm-hmm. And then Giuseppe's asking Gus, Kyron, or AJ Dillon.
I'm gonna go Gus Bus there. I'm gonna queue up the rapid fire, CJ, just because I do have to have a hard 12:45 stop. I got all my lineups to figure out still, and DraftKings and in seasonal. So I'm gonna rapid fire Wolfpack. We have again 50 of you here. Please do consider that thumbs up button. Help us continue to grow and new names out there. If you haven't already and you like the show, please do sub. We try to hit every single question every time we go live 4 times a week, maybe. But I'm going Gus over Kyron. PPR, Jacobs can't go. Boyd, Abdullah, Jarek McKinnon. I'd go Boyd in the PPR setting there, Michael. Pick 1 QB. Watson, Herbert, Fields. Ooh, Fields versus Herbert's really, really tight. I'd probably go Herbert, just a little bit safer with similar ceiling there. Brian Robinson, DPJ, Zay Jones, or Gus. I'm going to go Gus Giuseppe. Zay Jones, actually, in a full PPR, I think is actually a little bit safer. Gus Edwards or Rachaad White. I'm going Rachaad White, Bulldog. Who for my wide receiver 1 and 2 for Juan Pena? Adam Thielen, Zay Jones, Curtis Samuel, D. Carter, Judy, or Nico Collins. I'm going to go Zay and Thielen for that one, Juan. Olave or Deebo? I'm going to go Deebo, TN. Apex, need 2. Evans, Pollard, Wilson. May need to start all 3 if Deebo's a no-go. I think here I bench Jeff Wilson. Win and you're in the playoffs. I don't know. What do you think of Mike Evans versus Jeff Wilson? I think I'm going Pollard for sure here. What about Wilson versus Evans, CJ?
Oh my God, Evans turns into such a maniac when he plays the Saints.
Yeah, he might get ejected, you know.
We called the ejection earlier this season.
We did. We got it right first time. Could be two times in a row.
I think I'm going Evans though.
Yeah, I think this is like where he gets his revenge on Lattimore type of game. Bench one for DJ, Deebo, Garrett Wilson, or Ayuk. I think in that case, I probably just don't absorb the risk of Deebo. The upside's higher than anybody here, but I definitely go Garrett Wilson. And then I think I'm just going to lock in Ayuk in case Deebo flares up or anything like that. You don't have to deal with it. Would you start Jamal Williams, Ayuk, or Jeff Wilson over Higgins or St. Brown? No. I love Higgins and St. Brown. Both got to be locked in, Sarah. Half PPR. Komet, Ingram, or Taysom. You're going in the mud. Actually, no. Komet's been really good with Justin Fields. So I'm going to check my tight end to make sure I adjusted for that. But I'm going to go Komet there. What's up, guys? With Mixon out, half PPR, sit one. Perine, Rachaad White, or C-Pat. I'd be sitting C-Pat there, Denny Jennings. Glad that I was coming through fine. Good to know. Van Deventer, the fullback. Knight or Perine, full PPR. I'm going to go Perine, assuming Mixon's out. Half PPR, Keenan or Godwin. Ooh, geez, you can't get them both in there? I love both these options, DJ. I think gun to my head, I'm going to take the matchup against the Raiders and go Keenan Allen. But I love them both. Smash the like button. Hell yeah. For the boys, an amazing RSJ season. Hell yeah. Thank you, Jeff Lee. Always the great hype. Start Tua or Fields. I'm going to go Justin Fields. Grind don't stop. Second week without Mixon is hurting. Yeah, it does hurt. Hopefully he had Perine, but probably wouldn't be hurting if you did. Should I drop Pacheco for Jameson Williams? Oh, that's close, Grind. Honestly, if you have good running backs and Pacheco's never touching your lineup, there is a world where like Jameson might be your like flex blow-up player. Most situations, I probably prefer Pacheco, but I mean, that's tough. Depends on your team needs. Dolchicks or Ingram? Ingram. I fucking hate any Broncos. West C, Sutton, Swift, or Gus the bus? I think I'm going Swift for the upside, but Gus is the safest play there. B-Dubs, but I'm going to go Swift myself, Wes. B-Dubs, Burks, DPJ, Jameson. I think I'm going DPJ. Get the deep ball back from Deshaun Watson. I like it. Jamal Williams, Gibson, Samuel Carter. It's definitely Jamal Williams there, Juan. Start one. I'm going Rachaad White over Bam. It is close, though. Love seeing the show going strong into hopefully the playoffs. Hell yeah. We'll keep going for the playoffs, baby. Come live to Beverly, Massachusetts in 2 weeks. Playoff kickoff. Fields or Lamar. Fields for me, Mikey's. Olave or Ayuk. I'm going Ayuk there. Grind don't stop. Kyron or Patterson or Wilson. I'm definitely going Wilson there, my keys. Byron Bombs for Tyler Suggs. I'm going Josh Palmer over Brian. I'm going to go Ayuk here. Grind don't stop. I'm going to go Seahawks just over the Browns very slightly. Jeff Marcus. I'm going to go, if Wilson is Jeff Wilson or Garrett Wilson, I go either Wilson. It's fucking bad for Justin Reese. I'm going to go Gibson over these other two guys for you, Justin. Thank you again, Steven Drake, for your super chats. Jameson Williams. Who do I cut? Williams himself, Tyler Boyd, Zonovan, or DPJ? Honestly, probably Tyler Boyd. Like, if you're not going to start him this week, the rest of the year, I don't see him having much value. So, sit two. Watson, Pickens, Palmer, Judy, AJ Dillon. I think I'm sitting definitely Judy, definitely AJ Dillon. That makes it easy for me. Should I bench Pierce? Hoping Mixon plays. I don't think so, Bulldog. It seems pretty unlikely. The gap of White and Pierce isn't huge, but I really like Pierce today. I'm rolling with him. Two Deshaun Watson questions. Cousins, I'm going Burrow for sure. And then I'm going to go Watson over Cousins. Start one, Pickens, Burks, or D. Johnson. I'm going to go Pickens there, Tunes. Good morning. Which defense? Eagles or Chiefs? Chiefs got a cakewalk schedule for the playoffs. I'm going to go Chiefs there. Good morning, Steven. Martin Broadhurst. Need to sit one. Palmer, Kamara, Pittman, White, or Jay Williams. I think I said Pittman there. It's either Pittman or Rachaad White. Jimmy G over Deshaun. It's close rushing yard. I go to Deshaun. I know my boy CJay mentioned going Jimmy G over him. It's close. Really, really tough one there. 12 and 13 in my rankings. Need one running back, one flex, and half PPR. Harris, Edwards, Fournette, Z-Knight, Schultz. I'm gonna lock in Harris. I mean, I was worried about him, but he's off the injury report, so he must be fully good to go. And then it comes down to Knight versus Schultz, which is close. I'm not gonna go Fournette. Edwards isn't bad though. I'm gonna go Gus Bus here. I feel okay about the Gus Bus there. So lock in the bus. Fields or Burrow. That is tough. I'm gonna go Burrow though, Dilly Bar. You don't have to absorb that risk of Fields, which is a little riskier, even though the upsides. I mean, I think Burrow against the Chiefs has just as much upside as anybody on the slate. It does look like we have a super chat that we need to hit. So let me zip on down. Thank you so much for your support of the show. A lot of super chats coming in today. Broderick, and Flight Zone Music. So we got two here. Fighting for the first round bye. Vikings, Falcons, or Packers. I don't love any of these guys today. I mean, Seahawks obviously must be gone. Browns must be gone. So if I have to pick one of them, I would probably go Packers and just hope there's a couple turnovers. But I don't like either of those any of those options. Broderick. Flight Zone Music. Fields or Lawrence. Undecided the same thing. I'm going to go Justin Fields, baby. Ride out that rushing monster for sure. Again, we just saw 170 rush yards against this defense from Jalen Hurts, and I think Fields might be an even better runner than Jalen Hurts, who's a monster in his own right. All righty, that leaves us off at Dilly Bar. I'm going to go Sanders and Patterson. I need to start Fournette. Yeah. So I'll go Sanders first, then Patterson. What are you guys' confidence in Mike Williams? It's going to be tough. I'm probably going to be in the KJ camp of I need to see it before I put him in my lineup type of thing. If he even comes back, we'll see.
I'm such a sucker for that guy. He'll be in my lineup every week.
I know. I've always been a sucker for Mike. It's going to be tough to bench him, but I think I'm going to have to. Morning Jets, full PPR, start 2. Etienne, Jeff Wilson, Rachaad White, Lenny, or Devonta. I'm going to go Etienne, and then I'm going to go Jeff. I feel pretty good about him. Tua or Dak, I'm going to go Tua. Trey S. Giuseppe, Jeff Wilson, Najee, Fournette, or Patterson. You got to pick one. I'm going to go Najee there. No, I'm going to go Jeff. How sketchy is JT this week? Not sketchy at all. He's been really good since Saturday took over. Niners, worldwide. Nicolo, Lewin, Ayuk or Watson? I'm going to go Ayuk, and it's, 21 and 23 in my rankings. Very close. I would definitely do Burrow over Fields. Yep, I agree. Also, do I play JT against the Dallas D? Or, yeah, you're definitely going JT over Rachaad White. Flex PPR, Bam Bam Knight, Deebo, Fournette, C. Patterson. I'm going to go Deebo there for my flex. I'm not worried about JT. It's Jonathan friggin' Taylor, for sure. Looks like another super chat came on in. Let me jump there. Thank you again so much for your support of the show. The $2 ones are sometimes hard to find. There it is. Matty B. Zay Jones or Bam? Oh, that's a really good question because I love both these guys as streamers this week. 14 and 10 targets for Zay. Can you let us know, Matt, what's your scoring? Is it full PPR? Oh, it is PPR. It says it there. I think I go. I really like Bam today. I do. I have a good feeling about Bam. I think Zay is a bigger risk to disappear despite the 14 and 10 targets these last 2 weeks. Good spot for him too. I'm going to go Bam. What do you think about this one, CJ?
I don't know. I love my guy, Zay Jones. I think I'm going. I usually do go with the running back. I'll go Bam with you. I don't want to make it too difficult.
I think he catches like 4 or 5 balls today too. We know Mike White loves to pepper him. It really just comes down to how involved is J-Rob. I would be shocked if he's really heavily involved with a healthy scratch last week. I don't think they're going to make this like a 3-headed nightmare. We'll find out. They sure could, but I don't expect that myself. And then we left off with Nicola. I'm tempted to start Jameson Williams, but I'd go DPJ. He's safer for the week without knowing how much Jameson will play. Would you start Chase today? Absolutely, Steven. Zero hesitation there. We got about 15 more minutes, Wolfpack. Please do consider hitting that thumbs up button as we rip through the rest of your questions. Sub to the show if you haven't already. Mixon is out. That's not official yet, is it?
Not that I've seen, no.
It's likely he's out Hippie Deluxe, but we don't know quite yet. Williams, yeah, I'd go DPJ. So there's going to be some people answering questions. Love to see that chat helping each other out. Awesome. I'll try to skip those, though, as we go. Perine, Harris, Pacheco, White, Olave. Need 2. I like Perine, assuming Mixon's out. And I think I go Najee. A good matchup against Atlanta. I like both of those guys, Brian. Do I keep Odell or drop him? I'd drop him at this point. It looks like he won't be back at least until the playoffs. And I don't think it's worth the stash at this point. There's better roster usage. Fields, Brady, or Watson. I'm going Justin Fields. I know you super chat that one already. My fantasy football. Thank you. Need 1 running back, 2, and 1 flex. Jamal's the lock. And then I think I'm sticking to Najee. I know it's crazy. Mike Evans and Najee is close. Actually, I'm going to go Mike Evans. Mike Evans could have 2 touchdowns and just blow it up. So I'm going to go him. CJ, you might hit a couple of rapid fire. I need water. I'm going to fucking die over here.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me find the. So need 2 running backs in flex. Dameon Pierce, Wilson, Najee, B-Rob, Jalen Warren, DPJ. Need 2 of these. I'm going, as we talked about earlier, I'm going Pierce, and then I am probably going Najee, even though I think he sucks. Jared, Deebo has been so hit or miss for weeks, and so is George Kittle. I agree that 49ers offense just too many weapons. It's really unpredictable, honestly. Andreas, what's up, fellas? Pick 2 of these half PPR: Watson, Pickens, DPJ, Miles Sanders, Rachaad White. I'm probably going with this. I'd probably go Watson and Miles Sanders.
I'm going Watson Pickens myself.
That's who I was going. And then I was debating between Pickens and Sanders. I like Sanders to score, I guess, over Pickens. So
I don't know. Atlanta's a really soft matchup for receivers, and the Tennessee run defense is really, really good. I'm going Watson Pickens there. Whew, I need that water. I'm struggling today, Wolfpack. It's not even a hangover. I'm like genuinely sick today. So I apologize. I could barely talk if I didn't get some water. So thank you for your patience. Was there any tough ones, or was there like any in the rapid fire that I should double check?
No.
You know what I'm going to answer for 90% of these. So, all right, Brian. Need running back and half flex PPR. Perine, Harris, Pacheco, White, Olave. I'm going to go. Sorry, I just like jumped somewhere. I'm going to go Perine and Najee there. Olave is real close to. It looks like we got another super chat to cut the line. So thank you guys so much again, Jose, for your support here. Carter is PPR. I see your comment down there. Carter. Who's Carter? DeAndre Carter, probably, because Michael Carter's out. Peoples-Jones, MBS, or Claypool. I'm going to go Peoples-Jones. He's been solid all year, even with Brissett. Now you get, theoretically, a QB upgrade. Should be a big QB upgrade. A guy with a great deep ball. I like Peoples-Jones a lot here. A lot of these guys are just boom plays here. I'm going to go DPJ. Do you feel any differently, CJ?
Yeah, I'm going DPJ here. I can't trust Claypool. MBS, way too hit or miss for me. Carter, no. I'm going to DPJ.
Awesome. Alrighty, and back up to where we left off. Shit. Oh, it was Andres. Okay, perfect. Right here. So Burks or Jay Williams for a stash. I'm going to go Burks for stash and start Niners. We've just seen it for a few weeks, but both have a lot of upside. Like Brian says, Jay Williams, it's close. It's really, really close. Pickett or Deebo. I'm going to go Deebo as long as he's in. Pickens is a great play today, though, too. Pick 2 for Krana. Pierce, Jay Wilson, Palmer. I'm going to bench Palmer in that one, Krana. Usually have a good, waffles versus pancakes or something to go with your questions. It's missing that today, Krana. Fields or Burrow? It's definitely Burrow for me. Frank Bullet. Hey, guys, let me know what you think. Pierce over Rachaad White? Yep. And Kirk over Palmer? Yep. I agree with both of them. Majin Braveheart. Happy PR start one. DPJ or Burks? Hunt or Kyron? I'm going to go Hunt against that horrible Houston run D. I don't love it. Nick Chubb's been about a 70% player in terms of snaps and expected points, but I prefer him. And I'm going to go DPJ over Burks. Pick 2 to flex. Etienne, Wilson, Chase. Going Jamar Chase, and I'm going Etienne there, Kevin Martin. Stash Perine, DPJ, or Burks. I guess Perine if you're just stashing just because he has every week upside if Mixon misses more time. Yeah, Etienne. So a lot of people answer each other's questions. Love to see it. I'll keep skipping over those. Standard, Mike Evans or Pierce in the flex. I'm going to go Pierce. I love the matchup today. Zonovan Knight, yeah, we talked about him. Definitely, I'm very high on him this week. Alibaba. 2 QB leagues, sit 1. Tua, A-Rod. It's always A-Rod. Definitely Gino and Tua for the start there, Denny. Y2J, San Fran D or Broncos against Lamar. I lean Broncos. And I like San Fran with the banged up tackles there with Tua. Jeff Wilson, Pacheco, Lenny. Flex 1, I'm going Jeff Wilson there, 909. I'm going Tua over Jimmy G. I'm going for 909. I'm going Sutton over Burks, even though I don't like it. P. Ryan Harris. This one's been repeated a bunch. So, Brian, I appreciate you helping. I'm not even going to put you in timeout because you've been answering other people's questions. I want people to be able to see those answers. But we're going to get to your questions. Please do not keep repeating them. Dalton, if I see it again, I'm going to put him in timeout. Dalton, I got to get at least one timeout or show, you know? Dalton Schultz. I'm going to go definitely Dalton Schultz here. He's top 5 tight end every week. Jack and Lamar. Definitely not Mike White. I'm going Lamar there. Spencer King. Great work. Thank you, Roger. Start 3. Smith, Sutton, Slayton, Palmer, Burks. Palmer, Devonta, and Sutton for me. Wilson Jr. or Swift. I'm going Wilson Jr., Frank. Do I cut Gus the bus to get Pirine? Knowing that I have Dobbins on my IR, he's coming back. You can. I don't know. It's kind of swapping useless for useless. My bad. Meant to say pick 3, half PPR. Watson, Pickens, DPJ, Sanders. Okay, so Watson, Pickens, Sanders there. We got another super chat from Dylan Adams. Thank you guys for your support of the show. I'm going to cut the line here.
I got it.
You got it? All righty.
Pirine or Christian Watson?
That's pretty good. I mean, I guess we're assuming Mixon's out. So the question would become, like, if Mixon's shockingly ruled in Pirine, Dylan, who do you have other than Pirine? Because I really do like Christian Watson a lot today in general. But if I knew Mixon's out, I would go Pirine. I'd take the safe, guaranteed 20-ish touches of Pirine if I had the option and knew Mixon was out. What about you, CJ?
I think we can assume Mixon's out, honestly.
I think so, too.
I'm going Pirine here.
All righty. We're locked in. Dylan, best of luck. Hopefully Pirine kills it. He's been great in his fill-in duty so far this year. All righty. We were at Lucia. Pick 1, Flex, White, Pierce, Edwards, Pickens. I'm going to go Pickens. I'm going Dameon Pierce. I'm still on the Dameon Pierce train. Rocking with Eckler, Jones, Pierce. Yeah, let's go. Boys will ball out. Fields giving me 40. Oh, yeah. He's back in. Lock him in. I love the super chats commenting in there. Absolutely. What's up? Startup running back. Kamara, Pacheco, White. We're going Kamara there. Fields or Carr? Definitely Fields for me. 110%. Fields is like number 1 over. Yeah, he's amazing. So we're definitely playing him. We'll get a jersey meetup sometime. We'll be on tour eventually. Don't you worry. Playoffs start this weekend for my league. Oh, damn. Good luck. No, Fields. Absolutely. Go Fields. Go Fields. Go Fields. 170 yards on the ground to Hurts last weekend. Guy's a monster. All right, Christensen, Brian. I got to put him in timeout. I hate to do it, but repeating that question. Hopefully you sub, Brian, and you're back with us again. But I just cannot keep pulling up the same question over and over and over and over and over. Please don't repeat yourselves. All righty. So we'll go 8-team. Ayuk, Jamal Williams, or White. I'm going to go Jamal Williams there. Burks or Williams. I'm going to stash Burks there. Olave versus Christian Watson versus Jay Jones for a flex. I like Olave there. It's close, though. Don't play any Broncos. I fucking 100% agree. I would go Ty Johnson, I guess, Josh. I don't like any of that. Deebo has hurt me at times. And Kittle, yeah, it's been a tough offense indeed. But this is a week they should have to throw. So that's where you can trust those guys. I'm going Pierce very slightly over Pirine, especially in full PPR. No, actually, full PPR makes that different. I go Pirine because he catches a lot more balls than Pierce. Olave or Lockett. I'm going Lockett there, Kayla. Eagles or Chiefs. Rest of the season, it's Chiefs. This week, it's Eagles. Pick 3, my man, Bus. Mike Evans, Jeff Wilson, DeAndre Swift, Gus Edwards, Samaje, Rachaad White, Big Wolf. I'm going to go Jeff. I'm going to go Pirine, and I'm going to go Evans there, Evan Bus. Best of luck, my man. Take it down. I'm going Scary Terry over Zay Jones. Need 2. Pierce, Wilson, Najee. I'm going Pierce and Wilson there. Millie C. Want to go Pirine? Yep, I'm going Pirine, absolutely. I agree with you. Jacobs will be active. Cool. Good to know. Absolute monster. Zamir White, not quite as great of a stash now, but hey, you never know what happens in the game. Lazard, Hasty, DeAndre Carter, or DJ Chark. Got to go Lazard there, Laura and Jim Cooperman. Flex half PPR. Zay or Lazard? I'm going Zay. Should I start DeAndre Carter or Paris Campbell? Paris. I don't like any of them, though. Carter does bring more upside. Support the Wolfpack, indeed. Thumbs up button. Subs, all that good stuff. Bench any Broncos, always. If y'all have a free spot, we've talked about this a bunch, Fatty. Kansas City, Denver, and Houston in their playoff weeks. And Tennessee, the next week, in that 1 week they have a tough matchup in 16, gets Houston at home. That's my playoff play, for sure. Yes, hit that likes. Thank you, Jared. Much appreciated. Frank Bullitt, Lazard, Pierce, Edwards, or Evans. I'm going to go Dameon Pierce over Evans very slightly. Full PPR, Olave, Zay, or J-Mo. Pick 2. Who's J-Mo? Oh, Jameson Williams? No, not him yet. Zay and Olave. Full PPR flex. Pittman versus Dow. Should I go Gus, Zonovan, or Kyron over Pittman? I kind of like Gus. But full PPR, I get it. I'd probably stick with what you got. Pierce or Perine? I would go Perine in a full PPR. Should I start Herbert or Fields? I'm going Herbert, but it is very, very close. Just a little bit safer with similar ceilings. Pacheco, Wilson Jr., or Swift? I'm going to go Wilson. Start Barkley or Etienne. I'm going Etienne, actually. No, Barkley. Got to go Barkley. A little bit safer. Need one PPR. Harris, Edwards, Fournette, Z-Knight, Schultz. I'm going Harris there. Brady or Rodgers? I'm going Brady. 2 flex. And I don't even like Brady this week, but I'd go Mike White over either, to be honest. Murray, Perine, Lazard, B. Robinson, or Swift. Pick 2. I'm going to go Perine, and I'm going to go Lat Murray. Ingram or Taysom Hill. I'll just go for the ceiling of Taysom Hill there. Hit the like button. Hell yeah. And thank you for calling in, Jeff. It was great to meet you, brother. Thank you, guys. Absolutely. Thank you, Jeremiah. Kamara, Olave, Wilson, White, PPR. Pick 1. I'm going to go Kamara there. Chad Balla, Pollard, Gibson, Deontay, Slayton, Sutton, Pollard for me. Oh, we got pick 2. I'm going to go Pollard and Pollard, Gibson. You know, Cowboys fan are being held hostage by 2 members of ISIS. You have a gun and 2 bullets. You kind of shoot the Cowboys fan twice. Definitely on the same level of ISIS. Fatty Mateo. Oh my God. Always bringing a good joke, good chuckle for the show. It's always appreciated. Oh God. All righty. I got 1 minute left. Let's see if we get through all of them. Fellas, happy PPR. White, Pacheco, Palmer, Juju. I'm going Juju there. Happy PPR flex. Godwin or Dameon Pierce. I'm going Godwin. Morning. Happy PPR. Kirk or Jimmy G. I'm going Jimmy G there. Grind don't stop. Bam night. I don't know if there's a question there, so I'm going to just skip it for now. Fields definitely over Mike White. Are you going to start an RB2 in Dynasty? CJ, check your Dynasty team. Bench 2 for Fields. Yes, I'm going to do that too. I'm going Pierce. I'm going Jeff, and I'm going Najee Millie C. Although that's a repeat. I'm putting you in timeout. You're a legend. You know better than that. I'm going to go Bam Knight over Swift. I'm going Perine over Christian Watson very slightly. McLaurin, Kirk, or Carter. I'm going to go Christian Kirk there. Eduardo. Ayuk or Pittman. I'm going Ayuk. I'm going Lamar over Dak. I'm going Hurts over Jackson. I'm going Zonovan over Slayton. I'm going Antonio Gibson over Kyron. Seattle over Jets. Good luck to everybody. Thank you, 909. Morning, fellas. Godwin. I'm going Chase over Godwin. I'm going Zonovan Knight here. And for the receiver, I'm going DPJ. Higbee or Ingram or Bryant. Ingram. Full PPR. Rodgers or Heineke. Rodgers, I guess. Watson, Pickens, Ayuk, Palmer. Bench 1. Oh, man, I love all these guys. I think I bench Homer, and I love them both. All righty, Wolfpack. Whew, that's everything. That wraps up the mailbag, 12:45, right when we want to sign off. Thank you, Campanelli, for checking us out. Always checking those super chats for us. Thank you, Wolfpack, for so many generous super chats today. So many great questions, good interaction in the chat. You guys are the best. Everything that we do is at rotostreetjournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Best of luck. I hope you get everything you need. 2 more weeks to those fantasy playoffs. Let's fucking go, Wolfpack. In a world full of fantasy sheep, be the wolf. Later, guys.
Michigan lucked up.